Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here. Well, this match will not be postponed.
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
Incoming transmission.
Welcome to Saving Star Trek, a show talking about one of my favorite shows, Enterprise. I am Linda Park. I play Hoshi Sato and also Empress Sato. So enjoy this show. I love that it's finding a whole new life on the streaming services. And you better hit that like button or Empress Sato will not be happy. I mean, she could make a storm happen, and she could really make your life hard. Anyways, enjoy the show, hit that like button, and thank you for being a fan of Enterprise.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's me, your buddy Admiral Teag. It's good to see you here. I had on tap for you some, red hot, fresh, unrefined, pure Wes Kegel, but unfortunately it was a little bit too crazy for him to be able to get. Oh wow, that's loud. Sorry. How's this? That's better right now, right? Yeah, we had Wes Kegel backstage on tap. I apologize for the early noise. Woo! What a disaster that was. Fixed very quickly, thank God. Hi, everybody. It's good to see you. Sometimes these freaking microphones and stuff like that, they want to act up and they do their own thing, and your YouTube gain can just kind of do its own thing. I'm sorry about the early noise. Welcome, everybody, and I want to thank Ruby Hoove right off the bat. Ruby Hoove, we're going to try our best to entertain you, and I love the comment. Don't blame me. I voted for Empress Sato. Like I said, we had Red Hot Wes Kegel on tap for you, but unfortunately, Wes Kegel was a little bit hung up with the equipment, so we're going to see what happens with that. But you know what? If we could get the word out via X that I'm live, I'd like to see if I could have more than 10 people. There's another show on live that I would love to beat it. I want to be number one in my time slot. What can I tell you? Hello, John the Beagle Down. Hello, Mark Harkness. Hello to you again, Ruby Hoove. It's good to see all of you, and it's good to see, I guess Wes Kegel will be out there at some point in the chat, and we'll say hi to him. But at any rate, you know what? Today, for some reason, Batfleck is trending. Batfleck. Of all things, Batfleck. Have I lived a good enough life to not have to hear any more about this misguided but heartfelt attempt to do a decent Batman? Do I think that he was the worst Batman? No. No, he wasn't. Was there ever a worse Batman movie? Oof. Wow. I mean, I don't know if Batman versus Superman is a really bad movie that's a Batman movie or just a terrible movie that also has Batman. It's hard to say, right? Whew. Woof woof on that one, folks. Wow. I mean, it's hard to say. And you know what? There are people watching Commie Snowbillies who could be watching this show. We got to get the word out, and we'll see if we can't outstream the competition. Because, hey, you know what? If they could steal, hey, Gavin Blackburn, what goes on with you, my friend? You know what? We're streaming for vengeance. We're going to try to outstream the competition. We got another channel here that seems to be disqualified from any denial that they are the ones behind the bot swarming. But you know what? Hey, Jedi Master 2022 Lost in Space and Classic Sci-Fi. It's great to see you get a free gift from Ruby Hoove. Ruby Hoove, on behalf of Jedi Master 2022, thank you. It is great to see you. Listen, it's like this. I don't know why Batfleck is trending, but it is. Here's something I really have always felt. I don't get Zack Snyder's movies, okay? I mean, I get 300. 300 at least I can make sense of because it's a military engagement. There's outside sources on it. And actually, like when held down by actual events in history, he doesn't do the worst job of it. I'm not upset to watch, that particular Zack Snyder movie. Is the color grading just crazy? The color grading's crazy, guys. Like I one time was watching it on an old school DVR, like one of the remember the HD DVRs where they gave up on that. And hello, Sci-Fi Sith Dan, it's good to see you. Before they gave up on the old school Blu-ray, HD DVRs, I had one, right, and it's got like this weird 3-prong connection. It was completely different from other ones, and I guess one of the prongs out, right? So one of the 3 colors of the basic spectrum's out, and the whole movie was tinted purple. And I watched it that way, like maybe twice before I realized that it for sure was a problem ongoing with the way I was watching it and not just simply the movie. Because from the first time I saw it, I remembered it was like, wow, this is a very bold choice in color grading. And then what happened with Zack Snyder is that just became all he was about. So if anybody knows why Batfleck is trending, throw it in there and we'll entertain it and we'll investigate it. It's why we're here. We're going to take a look at this Batfleck thing. I think it needs to be closely looked into. That other channels that are run are VC, other channels that stand still are, well, this one, DC, got some, yeah! I always wondered, is Raptor Man throwing up in his helmet because the helicopter ride is so rough? Or is Get Some such a terrible person that it's making Raptor Man throw up? That does not look like a smooth helicopter ride, but Get Some is also one of the most despicable human beings we meet in a movie that's mostly about despicable human beings. In the movie Full Metal Jacket, we don't meet many people who are, like, admirable. We meet the most admirable thing you can be is someone who cares as much about their comrade as you do about going home. But that doesn't include, like, say, questioning your orders or trying to make yourself have a safer mission. Zack Snyder would have done good Batman, since Batman is more his type of hero to work with. Yeah, that is something that is popular to say, and by no means crazy. I guess this is now, and this is something I've sort of called out other critics for not doing. This is when now Admiral Teag proves that it's worth wasting your time with me, and I give my take on this one. All right, Sci-Fi Sith Dan's not totally wrong here. He's onto something, okay? However, Zack Snyder doesn't seem to understand Superman at all, right? So to say Batman is more his type of superhero, that does make sense. However, I don't know that Zack Snyder was suited to make movies without like a script doctor who had the authority to stop him when he started making mistakes, because we see some serious, very deep mistakes in his Batman vs. Superman movie, where Batman has been around for 20 some odd years, yet at the same time, he seems to lack any sort of worldliness. The cops in Gotham, unaware of who Batman is, shooting at him. Perry White, editor of the paper in Metropolis, doesn't know who the Bat Vigilante is. Yet we see that these cities are very, very close to each other, and there's no way that they wouldn't have baseball teams and hockey teams and football teams that would have made them rivalrous to each other, right? I mean, there's no way that if those two cities are so close that you could see the Ajax Chemical Building from Gotham, and you can see the Ajax Chemical Building from Gotham. I mean, from Metropolis. When you're in Metropolis and you look across their sound there, you can see the Ajax Chemical Building where Jack Napier gets swamped with the chemicals. Hi, Sci-Fi Mombi. It's good to see you. And did I miss anybody? Hello, John. Hello, Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Hello, Gavin. I think I got you all, but you know what? It's better safe than sorry. It's good to see everyone. Mark Harkness, my friend Ruby Hoove, all of you. I hope I'm being entertaining. We're doing our best today with a little bit of an impromptu. It seems that when we appear behind the Romulan ship, it's unable to attack us. Like our cloak is undetectable. It seems as though there's been a tachyon pulse. And speaking of which, I heard that Midnight's Edge sourced the story to the tachyon pulse. I wish they had DM'd me so I could have told them not to take the tachyon pulse seriously. I'm not going to show any tachyon pulse video. But if you go to the Tachyon Pulse, they're a Star Trek thing. They have what seems to be a fairly professional website. It looks pretty good, right? The thing is that it's not too legit. Like, there's a guy there, and he sits in a room in England. And I don't mean this to sound insulting, because I may do it sometime, but all of the videos are the same way. They're done in what you could call testimonial style. So in other words, he sits in a room and he's like, so Firefly is coming back. Firefly will finally be back. Nathan Fillion has flexed his muscles and Firefly will be back. Now, that was like 5 or 6 months ago that he said that line of bullshit. And since then, myself and Sean and JT have all been monitoring the Tachyon Pulse podcast. All right, you guys know us. You fly with us. You come out on Saturdays with us and talk Star Trek. We're going to tell you the truth. This is what we think of the Tachyon Pulse. It's fucking bullshit. This guy has maybe 1 or 2 high-priced memberships with somebody larger because he never really sources himself. He might have finally sourced one thing, but he never really sources himself. So it happens when Midnight Edge, they must have just simply in good faith listened to the guy. The Tachyon Pulse has done nothing to prove their good faith or the worthiness of what they put out there. The Tachyon Pulse traces back to yet another Trek-related site. The first Trek-related site that it traces back to is really, really well subbed. It's got like an incredible amount of subscribers, okay? But on the other side of the score, it doesn't have the kind of engagement it should have for where it's at. And as I start to pull up the Tachyon Pulse to show you their numbers, we'll even go backwards and we'll show you some of the stuff that's going on. So here's this Tachyon Pulse stuff. It screams scam. Okay, there's something wrong with the Tachyon Pulse, and I'm calling them out as having too much information for people who never source it. Okay, transporters, tech that kills you. Okay, that is old school BS about how you disappear when you get hit with the transporter beam. And welcome, everybody. It's nice to see so many people watching. It looks like, is it just me, or are we beating? We are beating the Pack-Leds. Oh no, the Pack-Leds have pulled just slightly ahead of us. We need to get to 15 and hit those like and follow buttons, but it's so nice to have all of you here. Hello, and hello, Cole Hahn. It's good to see you. Welcome aboard, and hello to you. Right now, I am looking at a website called the Tachyon Pulse. I'm kind of showing it to you. Let me move off to the side here. Whoop. Tachyon Pulse needs to be a little bigger. Okay, these are them. Okay, this be them. The Tachyon Pulse has the same exact tile over and over. They throw someone in front of the tile, the background, and then they go with the story of the moment. They beat it to death. And then, in my opinion, they say things that are absolutely just not based in any kind of reality. And the Tachyon Pulse has 4.4 thousand subscribers, which is twice as many as I have. 1,200 views in a day. Tech that kills you. Technology, transporter technology. So this is the old story about how the transporter tears you apart and puts you back together again, and it's not you anymore. You know what? This is something that got 1.2 thousand views. I make my share of Star Trek uploads. I push them hard. I put them on Reddit. I do every last single thing I can do to make these things work. 1,200 views in a day. That to me looks like cash promotion in a garbage market to get views, to put on garbage subs to impress people. I think that this is a front organization to sell memberships. Okay, let's see what they're do. Can we find out? Subscribed. I'm subscribed, unfortunately. Let's see what happens if we join. It's $3 a month. Photo and status updates. Early access to new videos. Member shoutouts. They're not offering much. And there's only one membership level. So I don't know what to tell you here. There are a lot. I don't know. There's no way for me to know how many members are in their community. But look at the way they have falsified their sort of views here. And it's all over the place. There's no logic to it. So 2 months ago, 14,000 views, exclusive Star Trek news, Section 31 disaster. Everyone knew that for weeks and weeks and months and months. We got like 1,000 views on it. They got 14,000. Sounds like it's been, put through the promotion filter for me. Doctor Who shocked David Tennant to replace Gatwa. Didn't happen. 16,000 views. Highly outrageous, not backed up. Okay, not backed up at all. Judge Dredd return with Carl Urban. Everybody knows that this is happening. New Stardate update. Amazon go back. I don't know what that did. Did an AI write that? What does that mean? That is written in just like proactive clickbait words. Judge Dredd return. We've all heard about this one. We don't know if it's true. Star Trek news. Paramount new owners shockingly. Okay, there's for 3 months and more, we have known that no one can own Paramount and that Paramount is owned by no one and that right now it is an independent consortium trying to get itself bought and the sale is not being completed because of problems that go back to the election. The CBS people who are behind Star Trek effed up and they did not have, they have FCC problems now blocking this sale. So to say that 3 months ago, it's just a poppycock. And let's see here. Exclusive update. Firefly reboot plan revealed. That's 3 months ago. Now I heard they use this as a source. So let's see which story they use. Salky is to blame. Exclusive Stargate reboot block. Truth revealed. No way to verify that. He won't say what the source is. Blocked by Salky. Same story again. Part 2. I watched it. There was nothing to it. These things are ridiculous. Carl Urban is back again, speculating again. Same thumbnail used again. It's something that people want to hear. 22K. Okay, wait, it's the same thing. Okay, 22K. Sell the franchise. BBC should sell Doctor Who franchise. Who doesn't know that? 2.3 thousand views 5 days ago. If you get really garbagey subscribers by advertising in the developing or third world and then you juice it a little bit, you can have views like this. It's just, we've seen people do it. I try to stay away from this sort of thing because it's just destructive to you. You can see from my views being mostly relatively low and always pretty logical that I have not done a lot of these crazy things. My titles are not in clickbait, and my view counts are in line with a 2,400 person channel. And you know what? At any given time, I'm sure I have 3 or 4 people there who are not like going to stay with me, and 1 or 2 bots that just didn't get detected, but will. But here we go. Hey, actually, I know for a fact this is not true. Which one? The Amazon demands end to woke good for Stargate, or the other Stargate story, or the Carl Urban one. Yeah, he is skimming Reddit for his stories. I think also he uses some of the money he has to go to like a higher priced YouTube channel. And as you can see from all these tiles, you see the one where he's moving around there, the one that's in motion. That's everything. Here's every single video is what you get here. He's got like a Star Trek t-shirt on. And, these are his shorts. They're taken from his videos, I guess. And he's just like, he's in his basement and he's got his Star Trek Enterprise D model. And he's just like, oh, I got some hot news for you. Doesn't say where it's from. I know that Captain Kirk will be back once again in the new Trek world. Doesn't say where it's from. I know that this is being talked about on the highest levels. This is something that's already been out there. It will be coming soon. This is something that can't be disproven. William Shatner is rumored to be in top secret negotiations. Rumored, secret, top secret, rumored to be secret, secret rumors. You know what? It's not a true story. It's not a story that's true. It's not truth that's been turned into a story. It's a story, truly a story. It's truly just a story. And you know what? With that shark-like smile and those teeth, I mean, geez, for the love of God, National Institute of Health is taking care of most of it. Can you save up a few pennies and get your teeth capped? You know what? I'm calling you out. It's bullshit. What are your sources? Tachyon Pulse is a farce. It goes back. It started with another website that has a similar footprint. Let's go. Tachyon Pulse comes from Sidetrack. Sidetrack is also some fucking nonsense here. Look at a year ago. So all this 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So it's ending out and winding down. And the same stuff here 2 days ago, Jennifer Salke, Stargate. It's the same story. It's probably the exact same video. It's a slightly different thumbnail, so we did some work on this. But as you can see, we have in the Tachyon Pulse something which is highly nefarious. Now, with me, allegedly in the transporter room, they're telling me that Wes Cagle is in the pattern buffer. I'm looking in the private chat to see him say, "Sir, I am ready to be transported onto the bridge." Let me see those. What type, sir? Sir, I am ready. Let's see if Wes Cagle is ready to be transported to the bridge. I'm looking at the private chat now. I bet you he's just typing, flailing away with those fingers. Sir, yes, he is ready to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, from the surface of the planet below, I bring you a friend, a colleague, a pop culture comrade, and let's face it, a buddy of mine. Here he is. He's coming to the bridge. Here we go. Oh no, it's Wes Cagle. Wes,
hey.
What's up?
Hey, what's going
on? I
on?
can hear you.
Thank the Lord.
thank God. I'm going to mess with your sound just a little bit, but it's good. It's good, yeah. Because I think I cranked you up before, and I was too cranked up at the beginning of the show. Holy shit, was that crazy and loud. I'm sorry to everybody. I might clip it out later. If there's no live chat in the background, that's me. So what do you think of these Tachyon Pulse stories? Have you been able to follow along with what I've been talking about here?
No, I actually had I think it's time for a new laptop because it's starting to have the ghost in the machine where things are doing things on its own. So I had to go into the settings and fix everything for this mic to work again or be recognized. So I've not even had anything up. I'm lost. I'm clueless. I'm new. Everything is new here to me. I didn't catch anything. So
I guess here's the advice, right? Like, try to export as much of your memory as you can onto like an SD card or something like that, right? Like something with like a terabyte on it. Dump it all onto there. Everything you can get off, right? Then wipe that thing factory freaking clean. Get the cheapest, most minimally underpowered device you can get that'll suit your purposes. Go online with the more powerful one and use that one exclusively to maintain the StreamYards link, and then with the lesser, cheaper one, you chat around.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You know what? I started this empire.
Un momento, por favor. I'm sorry. 1 second.
No problem. We're explaining the Tachyon Pulse. It goes back to this Sidetrack site. As you can see, Sidetrack, it's going to sound a lot the same. Your sci-fi TV and movie channel. We have championed the return of Stargate for 3+ years, bringing fans world exclusive news, scoops, and rumors. This is really badly thought out. If you want the all sci-fi TV movie news first with fan opinion and chat, then Sidetrack is the channel for you. We have constantly brought you exclusives about Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, and The Expanse, as well as rumors about other returning shows from Airwolf to Space Above and Beyond. Hey, Wes.
Hey, sorry
I'm reading about Sidetrack. Did you hear the description of Sidetrack? They are from the United Kingdom, by the way, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or at least the man is from the United. He speaks like he's British. Wes Cagle. He speaks like a British guy. This is Sidetrack. You can see The Ancients Were Idiots. Top 5 perfect sci-fi movies ranked. They Live movie remake plan. Now here's the same guy again. Here's our same guy again, right?
Yep.
So he's the sidetrack guy. Here's my thought, and you see, it's always him. It's always him. See, everywhere I go, it's always him. He is. Now, sometimes he has people on, but for the most part, okay, like this is his deal. Like this is an Admiral Teag joint, and sometimes there's panelists. I think that he's paying for access, using money to get people to come on. Now, if paying for access is part of his plan, and he can get enough access to fuel a channel, that's one thing. I pay for access to Midnight's Edge, but I pay 99 cents a month. And Tom and Andre let me come on there and talk to them. Mm-hmm. So we get about 4 weeks of information out of every trip there. So I would say that that's a good exchange for me. This guy, we're talking like $21 a month top tier sci-fi memberships where you probably are guilting the hosts into coming on your show and talking to you. So you're getting information from people who are in a position to have the information. But remember, they're selling the information to you. So it's in their interest to have information worth selling. So if there's a rumor of Firefly coming back, well, then that's proof, right? In this world, you're dealing in the rule like this channel talks about the speculation that's out there, but we don't deal in speculation. We're not speculation brokers. When I had my information about Daredevil, it was stuff that was mostly out there, and I cobbled it together. And I was realistic about the fact that I looked on, different sources that were publicly available. And I have to watch the new Trek propaganda. So, I mean, look at this one. Discovery erased from canon 10,000 views 3 months ago. I didn't bother even with that story. Yeah. I didn't think there was any interest in it. Did you? Were you interested? Do you believe it, first of all? Do you think it's going to stay that way?
Well, I think there was a passing interest in it because I did hear mentioning of it without going to look for it. I saw people mention this in passing. Matter of fact, it might have been talked about in quickly in short passing on PCB on one of the PCB episodes.
So this guy has 10% what Doomcock has on Sidetrack, his first channel, right? Sidetrack has 33,000, so that's like just a little under 10% of what Doomcock has, about 8.5%, because he has 350 and change, right? Mm-hmm. So he had a Discovery is Gone stream where it's erased from canon, where he got, erased from canon, 9.5 thousand views. So 1/3 of his channel was interested. I don't know if I believe that, but okay. But now over here, Tachyon Pulse starts getting active right around the time that Sidetrack is winding down. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you're a fresh mark from Sidetrack who only started with them, they start selling you this one. And what they're going to do, I believe, is step away from Sidetrack and just let that be archival and refer back to that as some kind of past endeavor or some other, pretend like it's different journalists. And they're going to use that as sources. But I don't know. Like, here's the thing. When I use Tachyon Pulse as a podcast source, I start out by saying I think that they have to back this up, that they never source anything, and that they're bullshit. So I hope that Tom and Andre mentioned that it's speculative. I'm pretty sure they did. I mean, I can't see them not doing it. But this, to me, I don't see much more speculative sci-fi than the Tachyon Pulse, right? I mean, look, tech that kills you, no more woke. I mean, this one is an old chestnut tech, the transporter disassembly. That's what goes back to the original series. So that could have been written anytime. That's content. That's pure content. There might be value to it. I'm not saying they couldn't write a good one, but that's pure content. There's nothing of value there as far as news, and they're selling news, not content. So Woke No More at Amazon. Okay. Aren't you glad that they were the ones who told us this? No one knew this.
That story about the transporter technology that kills you. That
25 years old to 40 years old.
Yeah, there was a guy, CPG Gray, did an entire thing on it. I think about 5 years ago, maybe more. 6 years ago.
Because you remember what happened, you're not a different person. So no matter what people want to say about how unlikely it is in real science, it's not real science. It's real Star Trek. And in real Star Trek, you just beam down as the same person. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to tell me why that's wrong, that's fine. And it's probably interesting, too. Honestly, I wouldn't scoff at it. I want to be able to tell you what the difference is. I would listen to your podcast. Like, here's why they're totally wrong. It's like, respectfully, Star Trek's great, but here's why it's ridiculous, and you would have to only be disassembled, and you would never. But here's the thing, Wes. I figured this one out. Have you ever heard of what they call a sign language chimp?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you can understand this one. I want to take a sign language chimp, Wes Cagle. A sign language chimp. I want to take one, And I think that this sign language chimp, I think what we could do is we could give it the ability to talk and communicate. And we give it a message, and then we put it in a transporter and rematerialize it, kind of like in The Fly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it rematerializes, if it remembers the message, that means we're ready to move on to phase 2 and test it on my ex-wife to see if she comes out alive. What do you think?
I think maybe I wouldn't risk a valuable trained chimp like that. I would send the wife through first.
You might want, you know what? That's Wes Cagle said it. I didn't, but you know what? Like, we're all about freedom of speech. If that's how you want to handle it, and you know what? For guys who are on up against so much competition, unannounced and out of nowhere, although I think people are starting to understand when they can find us, and oh bother, it looks as though we have tied the pack-lead freighter. Wes Cagle, I would like you to do me a favor. Target the pack-lead freighters, target the pack-lead's, like life support, bridge, and engines. They're not going to warp without us getting a drop on them. Now, guys, when the pack-leads go to warp, they will deploy some weapons they got from another race. We think the Romulans. And what they do then is they bot storm us. But when we come on now, we don't get bot stormed. What is different? Why are we not getting bot storms? Well, I mean, Wes Cagle, there's only one thing I could think of that probably keeps us from being bot stormed, and that's that the computer that bot storms me is tied up at this time, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
I think that if you just look at the facts in front of you, I'm not getting bot stormed because this is when the person who bot storms me is live. I sure believe it. Allegedly, now the bot storms are real, but the allegations are the allegations. So here we are, back to the Tachyon Pulse. Do you really believe that 1,200 people watched this story about transporters tech that kills you in 24 hours? Or do you think that they juiced this with either some form of chicanery or outright YouTube promotions or a thing that exists?
Yeah, I think it must be getting some kind of boost. Again, it's an old story. I just looked up the CGP Gray video that he did on it. It's not 5 or 6 years old. It's 9 years old. It's from 2016.
And it's not the first time anyone brought it up. He's doing
and even then it was not new. Yeah.
Do you not remember this fucking debate from high school, right?
No,
this was a debate that goes back to at least the middle of Next Generation.
Yeah.
Yep. When Barkley has this transporter psychosis, it's really out there for everyone because they say it all in that.
Yep. As a matter of fact, in the video that I mentioned on the other guy's channel, Barkley features prevalently in his talking about the transporter. So.
Also, in new Star Trek, the transporter is even more evil because Dr. Mamangala keeps his daughter in the transporter buffer so that he can, from time to time, bring her out where she says she's in pain. She says she can feel time pass. She says she's always in pain while she's in the transporter buffer, and he ignores it and tells her it's great that she's in pain and she's alive. And he's just the most creepiest, horrible person ever. And the show can't figure out how to rescue him from the fact that his character is evil, so it goes on. And then finally, in the end of season 1, I guess what's there, season 2, mm-hmm. Dr. Mamangala's daughter appears to him as an angel from the future to tell him that, without knowing anything about it or how it happened, it turned out that it was exactly the right thing to do. Thank you, Daddy. And now everything's great because you were a freaking broomer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
that's it was a help. There was no hope for the disease. It was his inability to come to terms with what happened. Now, first of all, invoking this kind of stuff in sci-fi that is not up to par, it's kind of wrong, in my opinion. Like, I don't want someone invoking these terribly dark things in a show that, if you're going to invoke something like, let's say you're going to invoke war and morality, and it's an episode like Angel 1 where we look into Vietnam, you know what I mean? Or we look, or an episode like where they had all those. Yeah, Angel 1's the one where everybody got turned into a soldier, right? Or no? What's the planet
Angel 1's where they've got that colony? It's a planet ruled by women, isn't it? It's a
planet of Amazonian women, and a Federation ship went down there.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one where
I know the one you're talking about? Yeah,
they turned a bunch of people into super soldiers so they could win their war.
Yeah, Zephyr Cochrane, the guy who plays Zephyr Cochrane, is the leader of that planet, isn't he? No. That's
He's the leader of a few planets.
Yeah, he is. But I gotta look it up now. God, what the heck was that called? Man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
The Hunted.
It might be, yeah, because the one guy escapes, and he's brought on board the Enterprise, and then the leaders of the other planet come looking for him, and they say, "Listen, we're doing the right thing. They're comfortable, they're happy, they just can't leave." So, God.
Yeah, it was also kind of like a little bit addressing like things like the Patriot Enhancement Zone that George Takei had to live in when he was young. How's that for an answer?
Yes. Oh well, at least
Very diplomatic.
They treated their people a little bit better than the Roosevelt camps.
Actually, I don't know much about it. I'm not about to defend one of the greatest wrongs in American modern history, but you know what? The people didn't die there.
No.
It was those camps were intended for the people to leave, and it was a paranoid mistake. And a lot of those people distinguished themselves serving this nation. So we apologized. There's no amount of money that can make up for the indignity that was visited on them. However, money changed hands. Money was handed over as a sign that we were wrong. No one is saying it was right. So that's the difference here. Angel, what is it? The Hunted, I think it is. They have an entire race of people who've been super soldiered up. And the movie Soldier takes a little bit of influences.
You're right.
From it.
Yeah.
Is that, you
Hunted.
found it? It's the Hunted.
It's the 11th episode of season 3.
We're starting to get a bigger buildup in quality, and that's why they go to a planet instead of discovering a ship that looks just like the Enterprise that has the Hunted on it.
Yeah.
Well, that step up in quality to go to a better set, different set, to go to a different environment, to go to like something of a planet. I realize that every planetary leader and every planetary leadership chamber looks the same. It's mostly sterile white. It has a few benches for people to congregate in, and like a high dais with people sitting on either side of like the main Goomba who stands in the middle and says things that are either small-minded or beyond his abilities. You know what I mean? That's first contact in the first 2-3 seasons of the original of the Next Generation. Yeah. They don't have it down yet. They know they don't have a lot of money. They're striving for let's keep it sort of believable rather than let's ram this down people's throats.
Yeah, I have all the TNG episodes on my hard drive, so I was just perusing the Hunted, and it is the guy who plays Zephyr Cochrane leading the other planet. Oh.
That might not be the only planet Zephyr Cochrane rules either, right?
No, I think he appears multiple times in TNG, which might be why they chose him
up
for
the long ladder looks just like him.
Yeah.
Like, not only is he chosen to be planetary leader of dicks, it's always a planet of dicks, by the way.
Yeah.
It's never a nice planet. He's always chosen to be leader of a planet of dicks is because, like you said, like, one, they liked his acting so much he ends up in Star Trek The Next Generation's movie, First Contact. But the other thing is, like, he is convincing as a functionary who's just a little ruthless.
Yeah,
who doesn't understand what he's doing,
and he always plays a character, and it's always a planet where, on the surface and in the beginning, they
seem all right.
Yeah, they seem perfectly fine until you dig a little deeper,
or only a little bit troubled. Like they're different. They don't have problems. They're just different. Yeah. And it's like, number one, we must accept the douchebagians' differences makes them what they are. And it's just like, but Captain, they're douchebags. The douchebagians have a culture going back 5,000 years. It's like, but it doesn't mean they're not douchebags. So, when I was at the academy, there was a man named Boothby who was douchebag. I mean, Picard, it's now frustrating to watch TNG. Have you noticed a knock-on effect from the from his new shows? Even though you don't even watch them, just the interviews, the arrogance, knowing what he says.
Yeah. No, I think he has. Somebody needs to tell him to put the shovel down, and you've already killed your reputation and your your legacy. Stop digging. The hole's big enough. Just bury it. Just put it to rest and bury it now.
So speaking of burying your reputation, Tachyon Paul, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out here and prove your story. Do some sourcing. Do an episode responding to the fact that you have no basis for this information. I could make fucking stunning declarations all fucking day long. You ready,
Yeah.
Wes Cagle? How about this one? Ready? In the next episode of Strange New Worlds, William Shatner is definitely going to be on as Captain Kirk and meet Paul Wesley, the new Captain Kirk. And then he's going to tell the Paul Wesley Captain Kirk that he's the true Captain Kirk. And then the Captain Kirk that we know as William Shatner is going to explode like a giant zit.
Oh, they're gonna pull a dial of dysentery moment here, where they're trying to erase the old one and install a new one.
I don't know. The point is just to get people to watch our video. Keep saying it, Wes. Can you believe that William Shatner is going to be on Strange New Worlds? I can't believe this rumor that William Shatner is going to be on Strange New Worlds. You guys,
if Shatner gets wind of it, he might block me on Twitter.
Yeah, right? You guys deserve better than transporter technology that kills you. I mean, that's a worthy discussion in our talk show when we come on the air and talk Star Trek and Trek and nerd stuff. But, you know, today, delivering a little more information. Today's information is really just a Tachyon Pulse's nonsense and fucking garbage. No more woke on Amazon. I'll believe it when I see it. Jennifer Salke's assistant was the replacement, so who knows? Doctor Who, sell the franchise. Well, who doesn't know that? Dread, Carl Urban is back. A 10, 12, 15-year-old pipe dream, am I right? Blocked by Salke. Big deal. So you abused her till she blocked you. I can pull that off with anybody. Salke is to blame. No shit. Everyone knows that. Again, Firefly reboot plan. Deeply speculative. 65,000 views 3 months ago. Star Trek news. Paramount new owners, shockingly. New owners advised to cancel it.
Huh. Well, that Firefly one, like...
How the Firefly one is shocking, and the Star Trek one's exactly what you want to hear. Then Carl Urban is back again, just beating to death the four big stories: Doctor Who, Star Trek, David Tennant's Doctor Who, Firefly, and Stargate. Stargate, Star Trek, Dread, Firefly, Doctor Who. That's it. One after another, after another, after another. Look at this fucking guy.
Yeah. Well,
look at Mr. fucking Potato Head. This guy, look, I'm calling you a fucking bullshit artist. I want you to source yourself. I have gone out on a limb time after time after time and been proven correct. I scooped a few people, but I said this is my speculation based on the informed information I've got from trolling through all the Star Trek information. I can get accurate information through my extremely deep and accurate research and my sources. I can do that. I don't do it all the time, and I blow off a lot of this nonsense. You won't find Star Trek Discovery thrown out of canon on my channel because it's not true.
Yeah.
How is it thrown out of canon when Tilly's coming back? How is Star Trek Discovery out of canon if Tilly and Saru are in Star Trek Academy or whatever the show's called?
Well, you know, Gavin Blackburn says that this guy here, he brings shame on all the Brits. So...
Gavin, do you know any more about this cat? Let me go back to your comments, guys. The rant over for the moment. Let's catch up to what everyone has to say.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Like I said, Gavin, apparently, I didn't know this. Gavin is Brit himself, so he says this guy brings shame on all us Brits. So,
anytime they talk about Cochrane coils and Cochrane fields, they could probably say it's by osmosis or electricity mentioned to him. But yeah, he's only brought up directly twice. But the thing is, we're talking about the actor. Yeah, we're talking about James Cromwell. I think you get that now, though. Let's see, I'm a little behind. Mentioned in JJ Trek, but we all know that's not real Trek. It's not. That one really does seem to be ended. They ended it in a comic book where they had to do this one, right? They couldn't just die. They heroically sacrificed themselves to keep the universe from folding up. So the Kelvin crew was gone in comics. Cisco saw them go. Actor may have appeared, but not in the same character. Yep. True. Everyone's on the same page here. Favorite Star Trek planet leader was the leader of the planet the Shellyak wanted to remove. That guy was not as cool as the Shellyak leader. The Shellyak leader was the best, right, Wes Cagle?
God, yeah, that was what they even said themselves. a life form. It wasn't carbon based, I think, and it was unlike anything. Yeah, they did a good job of it. It almost looked
Don't you
very.
think they were the
Armored
Savage
looking.
Curtain enemies?
It looked
They
like
look like
Armus.
they look more like the Savage Curtain enemies.
Oh yes, yeah, okay,
Ready?
okay, yeah.
We carry the membership. Your objections are irrelevant. This conference is over.
The Shellyak were hilarious. No, we
Yeah.
carry the membership. It's just like, what the hell does that even mean? And it's just like, here is the Federation's treaty. It's 600,000 pages long, and Picard just rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, an unnamed source has told me that Stargate's New Worlds isn't Star Trek. Strange New Worlds isn't Star Trek. Yeah. How about this one? We have a new show called Dr. Stargate, where he goes to Trek World, where they go to Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd is in charge of Trek World, where Dr. Dredd goes. Dr. Dredd goes to Trek World, where the people from Firefly and the people from Stargate fight. It's called Firegate. What the fuck is this asshole talking about? I've always felt that Picard had a dangerous arrogance as a character. Certainly the pacifism in the face of like really tough aggression. His ship gets blasted 3 times by a Romulan ship, and he decides to return fire simply because it's going away and because it's overclocked its engine.
Mm.
I'm like, fuck that, blow it out of the sky.
Yeah.
If you fire at my ship 3 times, it's not a mistake.
Yeah. Listen, the only
Comms
time
better come right on. And
Well,
you
the
better
only
keep
time-
moving away.
the only time I'll if there's a ship and they hit you and Worf says to us, we didn't, it was negligible. We didn't even notice that they shot at us. Then I guess you can hold back because obviously these guys can't do nothing.
We've had that.
The Romulans can do some damage, so you can't just let them keep pounding you.
Right. We've seen a couple of planets that have tried that bullshit and they thought they were tough, and Captain's like, they wouldn't even get through our navigational shields.
Yeah,
Should I return fire, sir? It's just like, what the fuck? Like, we saw that one with the royal wedding gone bad with the Regis Okuna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember the marriage? There was supposed to be an interstellar marriage to bring peace, but neither person really wanted it. They were in love with other people, or they were in love with each other, but they didn't want it on the terms the planet needed it to happen on.
Yeah, there was.
Like, can't we
that
just be
guy
in love? I think might have been it.
Yeah, he was like a swashbuckling rogue trying to get the 2 kids together because
And he bangs Terry Hatcher.
Was that
That's who that
Terry
ensign
Hatcher?
is who beams him above. Yeah. The ensign who beams him aboard, and then he gets the beam later is Terry Hatcher.
Okay, I didn't remember that one.
By the way, I found this out from like decades of using a Bic lighter. The inside of my right thumb is like always hurts now when I flick the lighter. I have to stop doing it and move to my left hand. If it works as long, I'll be 100 years old before I have to quit, I guess.
You gotta switch to matches.
It really hurt. It hurts now for a few minutes at a time. But yeah, Picard is like, he's sluggish to act. He takes a lot of abuse. He's always like, we have them right where they want them. They've only taken out our primary power supply and warp core. Now we start to negotiate. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Goddamn idiot. But let's see. Kirk knew that we wouldn't kill. Today.
We're not gonna
love
kill.
that. Yeah.
Today.
We may be human beings with 1,000,000 years of savagery and blood on our hands, but all we have to do is change it. We can say, I'm not going to kill.
Yeah, another episode where they show up on a planet and initially they seem all right until they decide that everybody on the Enterprise got to get killed.
Self-delusion booth. Well, you know what? Actually, they never should have gone to the planet in that episode.
True. Yeah, it was all the ambassador's fault.
It wasn't the ambassador's fault. He was under orders too. No, you got to blame the Federation.
He was an arrogant.
He's your coolest ever ambassador because he pitches in after he admits he's wrong. He authorizes the captain.
Yeah.
You know what though? He also had the courage to go down there, get his like personal aide killed, risk his own life. He was about to be killed when he was rescued. He was like, he was a political functionary who caused a lot of problems, and Scotty didn't like him. But as far as political functionaries go, how about the fucking Federation High Commissioner Barris from Galileo 7? You may have your men out there, Captain, but we have to get to where I want to go for no reason whatsoever. The vaccine will go bad and people will die. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember that dick?
Yep.
How about, you know what? Kirk had options, though. How about this? Well, leave the other 3 shuttlecraft behind with food and oxygen to continue the search and come back after we drop off the vaccine. I mean, they could have done that, too.
Well, this is true, but unfortunately, though, if they had done that and the plans were because it wasn't like the shuttlecraft on TNG, the shuttlecrafts in TOS, they're not transporter capable. So even if they could have rescued them.
If they fan out to maximum sensor distance from each other and then turn on their maximum sensors, you have a really big sensor range and a really big comms range, and you can be like, all right, stay on the ship and electrify the hull. In about 4 days, we'll be able to pick you up. Just have to last that long.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The problem was they had to leave right now. If you knew that you could stay and you had enough phaser power to scare them off 2-3 times, you've got a whole different ball of wax.
Mm-hmm.
So, in an episode like Galileo 7, that Federation ambassador is a much bigger dick than the one that we have to deal with in the other episodes.
There have been plenty of functionaries that not members.
Oh right, we're ahead of the Packleds.
Yeah, they're just
the Packleds have a 4-man crew, which means that they only have 6 people watching. We have a 2-man crew. We have outstripped the Packleds. We are doing better than the Packleds. Packleds, you want to be strong? We'll show you strong. I call out the Tachyon podcast, by the way, as fake nonsense. If I were to be a Doomcock Archvillain, a #1 subscriber of Culture Casino, and a top-tier subscriber to Midnight's Edge, none of which I am, I subscribe to them, but on much, much lower levels, I could go have lots of FaceTime with these people, pick their brains, and probably run a show off of it. But the thing is, now you're talking that your monthly overhead is like $80, $90. Some people might miss a super chat thing. Some people might miss a membership meeting. You might not get your question answered that week. You might not get enough information. That's when you start repeating like the Stargate story, in my opinion. You know, it's like, it's safe. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You just repeat the nonsense about Stargate.
Hey, look who just showed up. Admiral.
Trek reviewer. And that's
the 70s rock fan, yeah.
70s. Are you busy? Do you want to jump on for a minute? It's totally within the realms of possibility that you could come join us for our next 90 minutes before we get out of here. Don't answer yet. Although I know you're probably on your way somewhere. But answer when you get a chance, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop you a pass in the mail. If you want to pop on and say hi, you can pop on. You're part of the circle of trust now. We trust that 70s rock fan. He's also a recommended channel, and I will be putting his link into the chat very soon, unless Wes Cagle wants to grab it for me.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Why don't you do that? No problem. Thank you so much. It's very appreciated. 70s, I don't know if you could do it or not, but you got to pass if you want to come by and talk. We're talking about a little Star Trek and a little bit of other stuff, my friend Wes Cagle and I, and I'm calling out this website now. I don't blame Midnight's Edge for sourcing to them. They have the amount of subs, but what we see here is this is some strange engagement. And this is a strange channel. So Tachyon Pulse is the newer effort coming off of what used to be called You're out and about, but okay, no problem. So I won't expect you to be beaming up, but you know what? Please come back soon. We had a great time with you. I just had talked to Fletcher. He was supposed to come on again, but Wes Cagle, I got creeped out Wes Cagle last week. Remember what happened when 2 channels got fucking blown up and there was all that badness in the air?
Yeah.
You don't remember that? Poor Appion.
Yeah, Appion. He's still not. It's still. I think his YouTube thing is gone for good. I think that's not coming back.
From what I understand, he only did so much follow-up to try to save it because his feeling was if they could do it to him once, they could do it to him again. And if they could do it to him, they could do it to anyone. Yeah. And even though he was a really, really good YouTuber who built 2 channels to over 1,000 subs really fast, he said, what's the point of doing it again when they can take it away that fast? So I was very, 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 very sad. But someone did try something that appeared to be similar to what was described to me on my channel.
Yeah.
there was a similar attempt on my channel. What they did was they were spinning up the live streams to try to get me in trouble. But what they didn't realize was because my AdSense was off, Google and YouTube only care about it just so much.
Yeah,
They'll let it sort itself out. Well, that doesn't look like I'm trying to rope them for money.
Right.
Now, remember, these destructive attacks keep me from being able to, not that I would, but I don't even have the option to compete on the financial level of other channels. If I turn on the AdSense, we risk the whole thing because that's part of the attack. The attacks are on 3 levels. They're all built to get between you and the audience, Wes Cagle. The attacks that clog up your ability to talk with accusations like that I fucked over Klobby's memory. Jeez, I never saw anyone in the station get as mad as Sean. Sean.
Oh yeah, and
Wow.
he's pretty laid back, and he does not
You
get
never see
fired
him
up.
angry.
No,
You never see
he
him
was.
angry ever.
Oh man,
Ever.
I could see the steam coming off his avatar.
Oh wow! Hey, look,
Yes, Mr. Cotonic.
Miskatonic, bad. You know what? Let's see. Let's get that one up where we can see it. Let's give it some Viagra. It is exactly what I thought it would be. It is the flying. It's flying fruit, guys. And I think what I have to do is I have to pop this out and put it on screen. And we've made our point about the Tachyon podcast. It's fucking horseshit. I don't believe you. You need to cite your sources. You're not real until you prove it. Let's see. Wes Cagle, I think what we got to do is both here, right? We got to do a little of both here.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, I turned off reduced background noise because that seems to really kill the seems to really kill the singing. Like it puts like a ceiling on it, right, and a basement on it, so you get stuck in the middle there.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds really muddy and underwaterish. And so as I Google for the song that I want to sing, because of course you need the lyrics. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think I get this one right. All right, so here we go. Believe it or not, it's a flying pair. I never thought someone would send one to me. He flying away like there's wings on that pair. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just Teag. All right.
Good
So
one.
now we get the other one.
Yes, sir.
Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies and bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York Town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the candlestick maker, ready to go to meet the Mets. Oh, they're hollering and they're cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we've got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York Town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let them know you're rooting in the stands. Come on and meet the Mets, step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies and bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. Oh, east side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York Town. Yeah, to meet those Mets of New York Town. All right. God forbid I let everyone know I like the Yankees, but you know what? Meet the Mets is a hell of a lot of fun to sing, isn't it?
Oh yeah. No. Like I said, I every time at around 7 or so in the late afternoon when I was a kid on Channel 9, I heard it every time.
Oh gosh, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miskatonic. I hope you feel properly rewarded. That was really fulfilling. I know it's like during the weekday when people are nice to me like that and actually throw down. I'm always extra flattered because really, like, It shows that stations growing beyond just the Star Trek. The pop culture commentary means something. We blew a bullshit story out of the water. I mean, there's something to be questioned. Now, Tachyon Pulse professionally, they could just respond to this, right? And Wes Cagle, thank you for thanking him. And Miskatonic Madman is a sponsor of today's show. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tachyon Pulse is to Star Trek as Mike Zero is to Star Wars. It certainly seems that way. There's a little bit of meat on what he says, but it's all appropriated, and Miskatonic was applauding. So yeah, he got 2 songs for one. Mats, Jets, Nats, watch sets with your pets. Yeah, you know what? Nice! I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you thought it was nice. I did my best. I reached right down to my pit of my soul for that second part of the Mets song.
I don't know who this Mike Zero is.
Okay, Mike Zero, you never heard of him? All right, so no. Mike Zero is a YouTuber who he specializes in very copish, very easy to disregard, but strongly held rumors, and they're usually Star Wars.
Okay.
But
does he can he back it up? Does he have legitimate sources? No. Is he usually correct? Is he always wrong?
No.
I mean, no.
He's correct when he tells you stuff that people want you to know.
Okay.
He's correct when he tells you stuff he's correct about what Disney wants you to know, in the sense that he is re-reporting what is being told to him, in my opinion. Okay. So Mike Zero has 525,000 subscribers and 10,000 videos. 10,000! How many does Doomcock have? Like 2,200? Wow. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
10,000 videos.
So Mike Zero, let me tell you the truth. The Rise of Skywalker, 207,000 views, but it's 5 years. I don't know if I'd be hanging that out there. Pedro Pascal strikes back after female Super Surfer backlash goes viral. Rachel Ziegler goes ballistic after getting fired. Katy Perry gets destroyed by South Park. So as you can see, he's tacking back to normality here, but there's a little bit of pie in the skyism. He got called out so bad for so long, the only way for him to stay relevant or keep his, position as any kind of relevant pop culture guy was to go out there and really strongly back up the idea that he's just not making this up or getting it right from the sources. As far as Disney goes, it seems like there's some kind of coordination.
Okay.
It'll be this way. It's not too hard. But did we see anything here that would bother Disney? Pedro Pascal strikes back. Katy Perry mental again. Meghan Markle.
So he's
leaned into pure gossip here, so he can't be disproven anymore.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're saying the stuff from Star Wars is common knowledge stuff that he's just regurgitating. At one point, it wasn't any inside sources. It was
people
stuff that the average guy
being access media.
Okay.
People have accused him of being access media. People have wondered out loud if he doesn't simply sit around making this up. Other people have said poor interpretations of things seen on YouTube that would have made sense. A worthy discussion taken in an unworthy direction seems to be the best he gets. It's unfortunate. And guys, if you're here now, do me a favor. Tweet out that I'm live off the browser, okay? It really helps. It's the engagement. And we've gotten to the point of the show where, as we wind into the hour between 4 and 5, it's very important that we do not let these pack-leads outmuscle us. It's very important here on the Final Frontier. And hey, what's going on? Yeah, most of his stuff was guesses and obvious clickbait. It looks like Mike Zero is making a hard left turn, not politically, just out of left field turn that makes sense into outright gossip. And honestly, to me, I get it, don't you?
Yeah, no.
Maybe Meghan Markle's butler thinks she's a bitch. No one's ever gonna know if you made it up.
It's true.
Tachyon Pulse, yeah. So we showed you Mike Zero. Mike Zero's poppycock. It's poppycock. Guys, we need to get we got 9 of you. You guys are the best. It's a tie now between us and the Pack-Leads. We have to be ahead of the pack. Now, remember, the Pack-Leads have a much, much, much larger panel. It's silly. But you know what? I only need me or one other person. My buddy Wes Cagle is here. And nice, we sang this song. And yup, most of the Mike Zero stuff is obvious clickbait. And even Sean is tempted sometimes to call out Mike Zero. He's called him out on Saving Star Trek. He won't do it on Doom on PCB because obviously that's not his. Sean does well there because he has such great social media IQ, and it's really been to our benefit to have him with the Star Trek show.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Look at the Admiral Teag effect. He starts with the Saving Star Trek show. Within days, weeks, within a few weeks, maybe a month or two, he's on Doomcock. The path to success lies through the Admiral Teag show.
He's pretty knowledgeable. I mean, he's in Texas now, I believe, but he grew up in Southern California, and
he brings a cosmopolitan point of view.
Yep.
He's got all the pop culture knowledge of anyone who's ever lived anywhere else, but he brings a cosmopolitan point of view in the sense that he has lived in the middle of nowhere, but now he has lived in the middle of a big city, but he skewed that to move to Texas where he enjoys living. So now he has that kind of life. So he has insight into that for a couple of years now as he really gets engrossed in it and is going to Texas baseball games and things like that and learning, how to be, relocated from another city where, he was no longer able to be happy. JT Kirk, hey!
JT Kirk.
It's good to see that we're going to help you enjoy that evening commute. So, you know what? Like JT and Sean bring me, just such good Star Trek information. That Star Trek show, it's funny how people want to come after it. It's like the people appreciated that there was Star Trek. That's all it's about. Because the people are cool and the people have fun with the fake military protocol and the joking around, and we have a great channel society as far as the amount of fun we have, and that we're able to do things like take a terrible piece of New Trek and make it into an amusing thing that we do together. Some of that New Trek stuff was really terrible, but like you know that our watch parties were fairly fun. The worst of them was still a blast. We had a good time at every watch party for New. Appion was fucking hilarious all through Strange New Worlds.
Oh well, you got to be laughing if you're watching New Trek. I mean, you can't take it seriously. you just can't.
You have master comedians. Like, I really hope that Appion and Rocco will be around for the next run of Strange New Worlds. I really hope so.
Yeah,
we can get them around. I know that Sean and JT will be there for some of it. So, I mean, I'm not saying we can't have guests, but I don't know when it drops. Usually these things drop on like a Saturday, but watch them do something nuts, like drop it on a Thursday morning at like 1 a.m. so that we'll be like right in there on Friday. But
yeah,
like what will spoilers or reports that it's outrageous do to hurt our show? No one's that curious to watch it. So when we offer a chance to see it and then we review it and talk about how bad it is and do sci-fi, CSI, Star Trek, we will be beyond reproach because we will have done our due diligence. Like no one will be able to say, well, they didn't watch it. We'll do our homework right there. We'll give our channel subscribers, not even members, subscribers, a chance to be in that theater virtually on the high seas, on our ship, on our cruise ship in the high seas, the Galactic Star Cruiser, so to speak. When we get on that, we'll go to the high seas. JT, Kirk, Sean, and I, and special guests will watch Strange New Worlds. Now, Bobby called it Strangled New Worms or something like that. Yeah. I call it Stupid New Lows. Well, there's nothing strange about it now. They're going for the lowest, worst Star Trek week after week after week. So it's just stupid. Stupid New Lows. Now, if there's a musical episode, that's terrible for Star Trek, and it's despicable, and no one has immediate curiosity. So why, even though going on right away would probably be better, you know what I mean? Like, why do it? Now, if it turns out that it's part of when we're on already, we might, I don't know. I mean, I have to talk to the guys. There's so many possibilities. Combining so that we do, like maybe Enterprise on Fridays, and we'll do Strange New Worlds when it drops to get the maximum bang out of it. Because what we're really looking to do here is defang Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds. Wes Cagle, would you believe me if I told you that even though it's probably, a lot of people say not the worst, actually is the worst Star Trek show is Strange New Worlds? Based on two things. One, it's the most destructive to the fan base. It shrinks it every time. Every time. It's that bad. But two, it's been passed off as acceptable for a long time, which really is much worse than scoffing. Remember, Star Trek Discovery was scoffed off the air. This thing is getting grudgingly, like now it's going to have a fourth season or whatever. And by the way, Tom and Andre have verified this is off-brand, non-Star Trek. It's unauthorized, guys. It's unauthorized.
God. So this drivel is actually getting the amount of seasons that the lowest good Trek finally got. I mean, Enterprise got cheated. The other ones, all the other ones got, except for
Enterprise
TOS.
got
TOS only
badly
got 3, but
cheated,
the
I
other
think,
ones,
in the-
Voyager, DS9, TNG, they all got 7. Enterprise got cheated, but it still got 4, and now we're gonna have a new Trek piece of
Or
garbage getting
fairly-
4 seasons, huh?
The thing is, it'll only have as many episodes as like 2.5 seasons of 2 seasons of a regular Trek show, because regular
Wow.
shows have 26 episodes and this has 10,
Yeah,
and they're all
okay.
fucking horrible. And they only have 10 so that they can justify their budget. Like 20% of every show, if not 40% of every show, is pure bloat, and 2 whole episodes have no substance at all. So you're talking like overall about 45 to 55% of Strange New Worlds is purely bloat. Wes Cagle. Wes.
That's terrible. It's garbage.
Wes Cagle.
Yes,
Wes
sir.
Cagle.
Yes,
When I
sir.
tell you that this is some of the worst Star Trek excuses for some of the worst excuses for garbage. I've had worst excuses for garbage I've ever seen. I don't mean that it is garbage. I mean that I don't mean that it should be hauled away as garbage. I mean that it is garbage. And come on, guys, we're neck and neck with the guys in the Packwood freighter. We need to get a couple more people on there. If you're watching on a closed browser, watch on another device and leave the browser open. It helps. Or tweet out that I'm live off the browser. We need more likes. And we need more success than the Packwoods. The Packwoods have to be taught a lesson. They've been using that weapon that they got from the Romulans a little too much, and with a little too much self-assurance. Can we get the likes up there? We are at 17. You guys are beautiful. 18. Wow. Can you please get me to 20? I beg you from the bottom of my heart. 20 likes polarizes the whole, legitimizes the show. And when we're done, if you're listening later, leave me a Star Trek comment. Say hi. I say hi to Kyle Cullen, my buddy who comes through Cloaked later, and everybody else. If you keep leaving comments, I'll remember who you are, and I'll shout you out too. Galactic Star Cruiser, nothing. I have booked passage on the Astral Queen. Is that like the Astral Glide? Just kidding. The levels of not the worst in Kurt's Trek. That's like a lower than a rat's belly versus lower than a cockroach's belly versus lower than a worm's belly. You know what? This is the only way to explain Strange New Worlds. If 50 rats, actually, if 500 cockroaches got into 50 different rat suits, and those 50 rat suits climbed into a human suit and put on a Star Trek uniform, that would be what Strange New Worlds is.
Yeah, no. It's lower than it's lower than the fleas on the rats. They're amoebas on fleas on rats.
It's as though 50 rats inside a human suit were all filled with 5,000 cockroaches inside of a rat suit.
Ugh.
This is some of the
Terrible.
worst stuff.
Yeah,
By
no,
the way,
it's all terrible.
So, by the way, here's another thing that's terrible. We all need clothing. Clothing is a thing that's good to have on. It's great to wear. It's great to be clothed. I like having clothing on. I don't know about the rest of you. At least at the appropriate moments. Are there clothing-free times? Let's not talk about that right now. But here's the thing. I was looking at a pair of Levi's 501s. These very fine jeans have been the activewear of Americans for a couple of generations now. James Dean wore them. And, they're still around. Reacher's wearing them. 501s are basically the way to go. I found a pair of 501s that were only on Amazon $55. Think about that, Wes Cagle.
Wow. Yeah,
$55. That's like a good deuce less, right?
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of... Now, the question is, are you willing to send them back? Or... do you take a chance that they're good? Because some of the complaints were, I think these are counterfeit Levi's.
Oh.
And some of the responses to the complaints were, Amazon cannot guarantee that the Levi's they have are real Levi's. It is possible for people to produce fake Levi's that we cannot detect.
Huh.
To which I ask you, do they then become Levi's if they're indetectable?
Well, yeah, if you can't detect them, I suppose, and if you can't tell the difference, although some of these people say they can. But that's the problem with that's one of the things I buy a bunch of stuff on Amazon because it's convenient. You know, you don't got
You'll
to get
love
out
it.
of the
It's
house.
very
But I
easy
don't
and
like to
great.
do
Yeah.
clothes. I don't like to do clothes. If I can avoid it, I try not to do clothes because then sometimes they're not. The fit's not good, the quality's not good. This and something's not, and then you got to deal with sending it. I hate sending stuff back to Amazon.
Usually I've got myself sized well enough that I do get a good fit. I don't have to send stuff back a lot. You know what the giveaway to sending it back is? A lot of reviews in Japanese and a lot of like highly returned item and a large amount of low reviews. That's how you know.
Yeah.
That's the real sign that there are problems when there's lots of returns.
Mm.
It usually says highly returned item. So this would happen to me. I bought an item. I got more time out of it than I had a right to, but it was still a highly returned item. And so I bought it. I got a couple years out of it. It wore out. I bought its duplicate because I do like it. My plan is to send back the damaged original as the new one to get yet another one. So I'll have gotten two for the price of one, cutting the price in half. How's that for gaining Amazon points, huh?
Yeah, no. You could gain. There's plenty of ways to game the system with Amazon. I mean, I figured it out.
Amazon a little bit. I will game Amazon a little bit because the way they fuck you over.
I figured out that you could easily, and I haven't, but I got electronics in the mail one time, and the guy left it right on the porch. Didn't bother even knocking. I was home. I was sitting right in the living room, and it was pouring rain, and it was sat out there for about an hour. And I brought the box, and the box was soaking wet. It was everything. It was even some of the cardboard boxes on the inside of the box. It was multiple items in there. Was all wet, and I called up and complained to Amazon and everything. And I hadn't even checked the stuff to make sure it was okay, and it was soaking wet. I figured it was damaged. It's all electronics. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we apologize. We'll send out a complete new order of everything you want. And it was like $300 worth of stuff. And so they sent the new ones. And then I asked them, I said, well, what do you want me to do with this stuff? They're like, don't worry about it. It's destroyed. Just get rid of it. I'm like, okay. Wow. So I opened up the damaged stuff and I tried it.
Some of it was
all good. No, all of it was still good.
Here's the thing. Sometimes a package can look so completely destroyed that you shouldn't have to accept it, and they should take it back and give you a new one.
Yeah.
Their decision was, you keep it, and here's a new one. Which,
yep.
I don't know about that as a cost-benefit analysis, but I returned Amazon every month the Rings of Power is on by calling them and saying that my Amazon Prime was broken. It's not Tolkien. Every time they gave me that month's Amazon back. I said that there's no way this is working right. And then they're like, well, and then I'd be like, well, let me ask you this. It says that anyone who likes the books but not the show is a colonialist and a istophobe and a Yahtzee. But it so happens that I really don't like the show, but I love the books. And in fact, I bought them for my nephew. So could I have a $200 credit so I could give him the Amazon online medical care so he could get a shrink to explain to him how it's not his fault that he's a Yahtzee, but mine, because I gave him those books. And by the way, why do you sell the Yahtzee books as well as the cure to reading them? And they said, what do you mean? And I said, that sort of sounds a bit like breaking legs to sell wheelchairs, doesn't it? There was like a really long pause.
Yeah, you glitched the M5. I'm great. You are great.
Oh, your partner may function.
Well, if I am your creator and I'm imperfect, then that makes you imperfect. Nomad. You are the creator.
She's been being pretty cool to us lately, so hats off to Jill. But I was on her show, and we were talking about that episode.
The M5 or the Nomad one?
The Nomad one. And we talked about like the nature of the Nomad probe is based on like actual science fact ideas. Now they're very aspirational. And they're things that include technologies that haven't been invented. If no one buys Section 31 Steelbook 4K Blu-ray, Can it be frequent? Can it be a frequently returned item? I think it would be like it's gonna have all 5-star reviews. It'd have like 6 reviews total, but they'll all be 5 stars.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's buying suck ass 31. I mean section 31.
There's some people who have like retardism. There are some tismatic idiots
Yeah,
out there who
they
would
all live
fucking
here in
buy
New
it.
Jersey with me though.
I had a guy who's telling me like it's priced to sell, like the season is so cheap, I'm just gonna buy it for you. I was like, why? It's like, so you throw money at them, and the thing is, they get their cut of the sales no matter what it has to sell at. And the people who make it like are now making it at a loss because they're roped in from what they thought would be real Star Trek contracts. Now, even though we've seen this be a train wreck for a really long time, remember they got the Strange New Worlds contract signed the first year of Star Trek Discovery before people saw many episodes. They're like, this show leads to the original series. People are like, we'll give you money, we'll give you money. So there's a lot of people roped in, and the only people who've gotten out of their contracts are people who've timed out. Like, notice the game makes a point of almost 55 years of science fiction. That's their tagline, right? Star Trek the game, almost 55 years of Star Trek.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, we're well past that. We're at like 58.
Now this is the RPG game, the tabletop RPG.
Oh, I think yeah,
The one
that's
from
the more advanced one.
FTSA, FASTA, or I forget the company.
No. This is Starfleet, Fleet Command or whatever.
Oh, is
Starfleet
it?
Operations.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking about the one that's was modeled after D&D.
No, this is the one where you actually play on the computer, and it's kind of like it might even be a phone game. But the thing is, they have moved away. They refuse to support the canon of new Star Trek because it's so confusing, and they have to like do things on the fly out of nowhere, and they have nothing to go on. They have absolutely nothing to go on. They're like, because the new Star Trek plot isn't written, and because they're making it up as they go along. The idea that they could code things and have them out and ready on time to satisfy the requirements that they had with the Star Trek people from TV was becoming impossible. It was like breaking them to keep up with it. And like as I know, with the new Star Trek people, usually everything they do comes coded in a legal problem. So they can do fucked up things that will then cost you money. Like, they will deliver something with 24 hours for you to meet a obligation that everyone knows takes 10 weeks, but they didn't do it in good faith, and now you're locked into this crazy contract. We've all seen it.
Okay.
So they had to get away from new Star Trek. It was bleeding money from them and beating them over a rock. So they walked away from that, and now they do their own stories. It supports everything up to like season 3 of Discovery and like the first. I don't think it's a season of Strange New Worlds. I think it's the season that crosses over with Discovery. But you got that Enterprise and stuff too, like their version of the Enterprise D. So it's a little less of a total disaster than it could be. But that's what it is. And so there's people locked in. It's another Poverty Row, Paramount, secret hideout, public hangout. Where the money go production. It's like Rings of Power, where people are wondering why it looks quite so bad. And again, like you've watched enough of this, doesn't it just always look like shit?
Yeah.
It is dark. It is empty.
Yeah, no, it's all of it. I mean, not just Strange New Worlds. It's all garbage. And I've not heard anybody say anything good about Strange New Worlds. I've only heard people say that the only good one was Lower Decks, and I don't even agree with that. I think that's garbage too. So, but
The
I mean,
story has
I could
been
be wrong. I don't know.
reinvented to this. I saw some new Trek people at the store, West Kegel.
Mhm.
And I said to them, "Oh my gosh, you have a Star Trek logo on." And while I was talking to them, this guy was like such not an alpha and not a SETI. Right in
Okay.
between that.
He is.
And there was Joy for Soy. And his girlfriend fell under the category of what I'd call an unfuckable.
Okay.
But there he is. And he had Kurtzman glasses on and a Kurtzman haircut. It was crazy. And as I'm looking at a Star Trek logo, I realize it's the broken Discovery New Trek one. And I say to him, sir! No, I didn't call him sir. I said to him, hey, you're wearing a Star Trek logo. And he goes, oh, yeah. And I go, so what was the new one just on sale? And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, well, it's the broken, fractured Star Trek logo, the new one. And he goes, oh. And I'm like, did you just buy it because it was on sale? Did they have a bunch of them? And he goes, oh, no. And I'm like, oh, so you like the new Star Trek? He goes, well, I don't like Star Trek Discovery, which is what they're trained to say now to like fend off criticism because they finally realized it was indefensible.
Right.
So he's like, but I don't mind Strange New Worlds. It's pretty good. So I'm like, ooh, company line. So Admiral Teag is now activated. It's like, and I'm like, okay. So, I guess you'll enjoy it. You're going to get some girl power. And I said to the chick, it's like, you're going to get to see some guys your size one punch, some chicks your size one punch dudes. Are you ready for that? And she's like, huh? And I'm like, oh, you haven't watched it? Oh, yeah. Women are just stronger than men in new Star Trek. And they're like, what? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And they're like, well, we can't wait to watch the first 2 seasons so we'll understand. I'm like, oh, that will only hurt you. And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, well, they're not true to their own lore. So in season 1, we see Rebecca Romijn, Una, punch down a wall with her super strength. And then in the next season, they say, but you don't have super strength. You had the morality not to get the implants. So whatever they need to say, they'll just buy it back. Don't bother watching it. Just turn it on. It doesn't really begin and end. It just sort of starts and stops. And they're looking at me now like I'm crazy. This is at like the CVS. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, oh, you haven't seen the show? And they're like, well, we've seen some. And I'm like, how do you like that 11th generation feminism? And now you can tell they're a little afraid. They're like looking for the MAGA pin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think they assume right off the bat if you're talking the way you're talking. So.
Well, I laughed at him. I said, I hope you enjoy it. I said, it's absolutely terrible communist rubbish. And they're like, really? And I'm like, if you pay attention and look for it, you'll notice it. And if you notice the misandry and the hating of men, you'll notice it. And then we talked for a minute. I told them how to check that out with the way they act on the bridge, where what happens is they give orders to Pike, right? Or as I call him, Puke. Doomcock messed up. He called Picard Pukard. And now you can't call Pike Puke, or maybe he can. I don't know. The thing is, like, I got into it after Doomcock was calling him Pukard, so I needed a different name because I tried to never use the same nickname as any other YouTuber.
Right.
Because like your trademark and your property. Like,
sure.
Other people say 735 Club for the 735 episodes of Star Trek. I don't believe in that one, right? Because I didn't make it up. It's Briggs's. It's not mine, right? So I say 66 to 05 continuity.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't want to, I'm not looking for fame at the expense of someone else's ideas. I have my own. But with this new modern Star Trek, when we see it, what they're going to try to do this year is we're definitely getting another new musical episode. I'm sure of it. I think we get a lot of extremely small love stories in space, and then we'll get 2. Probably the very first and the very last episodes will be oriented on the crew and the cast, and then everything else will be a very personal story about just one person. And we'll have Connie and Kirk again, and we'll have other shit like that, and Christine and Spock. And their big thing, I guess, last year was, does she leave to go to another place so that she can have her career, or does she stay on the Enterprise to be with Spock? But the misandry is that, like, Black Admiral Man tells Pike what to do, and then Pike sort of sits there ununderstandingly, and you see Una sort of look in there like that knowing look, like she looks in at the camera, you know what I mean? She's like, I get it. And Black Admiral Man's still talking. You cut back to Pike, and he's like, the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't understand at all. It's like, how do you make ice cubes? Is it the opposite of coffee? Like, he's just stupid as shit. And then he looks over to Spock, and Spock is like, English. I recognize the language. Like, that level of delayed dumb. He's just fucking stupid. So then, like, the next thing that happens is we see Ortegas, and Ortegas rolls her eyes because she doesn't have to look at the captain. She knows he's lost. And then she looks over at Uhura, who's rolling her eyes behind the captain's back because she knows he's lost. Then the transmission ends, and the captain's like, words in English, they don't have meaning to me. I do not understand. And then, like, number one and the other gals explain it to him and give him the gal power advantage of, like, they woman-splain this to Pike, who's an idiot. And he's like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Ah! And, like, so they're like, they woman-splain it to him. Then the episode plays out, and, like, at some point he's like, I figured it out. This is what we need to do. And they all do the same thing, and they look at each other knowingly while he explains his plan. And then they tell him why he's wrong.
Yeah.
And they tell him why his plan can't work.
Typical.
Then they woman-splain it to him again. And what he does is he reluctantly goes with their plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their plan works, because it's their plan, they're women. And then the episode ends with them being successful, and they get on to Starfleet Command's, like, whatever, communication channel. And they're with Black Admiral Man again, right? He's back. And he's like, so, Pike, what happened? And he's like, I did this, and I did that, then I did this, then I did that. And while Pike is saying that, unabashedly taking credit for things that didn't happen that way and putting himself as the one who did it, right? So taking credit for what women did, right? So while Pike is doing that, all of the women are looking around the bridge and rolling their eyes and smiling. And it's like, guys need to feel like they did something. Look how the captain needs to feel like he runs the ship. We'll let him win. It's so cute when the captain thinks he gets things done. It's like, you're like, it's like painfully stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it.
And then the captain's like Black Admiral Man's like, Pike, you did it again. And he's like, that's right. I did it.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
Yeah. But how is that heroic? That's right. It was me. And folks, if you could tweet out that we're live off of the browser, the pack leads they've increased to warp 7, and we cannot let these pack leads out of our sight. They are spreading their bad technology. Cap after dark, yo! Can't frame anyone's head in a frame. It's so zoomed in to hide the green screen. Oh yeah. When we zoom in on Tilly's face and that constant constellation of zits that she's had for 8 years, they never burst. Don't you think a lot of Tilly's looks early on were creature makeup, like the kind of stuff they were putting on the Klingons? Like, she had that constellation of very, very, very ripe and eruptive looking zits. It looked like a smile could blow them up, remember?
It's typical of modern shows anymore. Even if you've got a good looking female character, they've got to ugly her up. I don't know what it is.
Example of that. Two good examples of that is Connie has a much better body than they let us see. Leon Noonien Soong is the name of the stupid ass fucking character, but the actress's name is Christine Cheung, and she's beautiful, and she has like a record out, and she's trying to do her own thing around the Star Trek nightmare because Star Trek ruins your career. All of them have said it on X at one point or another. I'll find it for you. Melissa Navia, who plays Ortegas, the most offensive character, Wes Cagle.
Who? Who's the most offensive?
Ortegas is the most offensive character.
Ortegas. I try to avoid.
Female navigator chick. It kind of comes off like she's a real mean
okay.
lesbian.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Comes off like she's an extremely man-hating lesbian who just has nothing but disdain for all humanity. Especially, like, if you use the word mankind, it looked like she would start screaming and try to stab you in the face. Like, hatred. We're talking hateful. Here's the thing. Melissa Navia, and I'm sorry, guys, my microphone stand fell a little bit there, so I apologize for the extraneous noise. No, Melissa Navia was on another show that was really popular, and she was playing like a well-liked character, or the character was on its way, and she was making money on that one and going to conventions on that one, and people were loving her character. And Strange New Worlds kept calling her back and making her work and calling her back and making her work, not because there was a demand for it, but because she had the smallest contract, so they could exercise her option to make her work extra and not have to pay her much more money, is my opinion of why they did it, right? But what she did is she lost the other show. She loses her other sci-fi show because she can't ever be there. They're always calling her back to do like 5 minutes of walking in hallways in Vancouver, pulling her off whatever she's doing. Can't wait. Always like the end of the world. Because if Rebecca Romaine wants to show up, then that's great, and they'll work around that. Or if Anson Mount is available, they'll work with him. But if he's got something to do, they'll drop everything. You know what I mean? They're all about those people. But they don't care. And this is speaking of the whole like lack of quality because of the green screen. Hey, look, it's our pal Tony.
Tony.
Hello, Stark of Iron. We're streaming. Good to see you. So at any rate, so we're talking about, and good luck playing cards later. We're talking about like the whole Strange New Worlds strange scam. It's coming back, and we're going to cover it on Friday nights late, probably around midnight Eastern Standard Time, and it'll be probably 90 minutes. We'll watch it like first, but like the watch party will be via like the community tab on the channel. So join the channel. Get your chance. We'll let subscribers have it. You don't have to be a member. And then we'll review it as though we review regular Star Trek the same way we reviewed Section 31, which man, we tried to be fair to that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We'll use the same style that we use for everything.
The same treatment as real Star Trek. Yeah, okay.
Well, we will approach it with the same style, but the show is called Sci-Fi CSI for a reason. It's because the show, like, they're sort of manipulating the corpse of what was once Star Trek. And hey, Stark of Iron is a member of this channel at the Fleet Commander level, Fleet Captain level for 16 months. Though joining the channel does have its perks. Yes, it does. And we thank you for helping me get out all these great videos and being a part of my success and my community since day one, as I have been a member of yours, my friend. And I guess, are you streaming later today? Are you doing anything? Because the Admiral Teag show has got about a half hour left. We know how the pack lads operate over there. We've seen the pack lads make this run before, Wes Cagle.
No, they do. But Tony usually takes Tuesdays off to recharge. You can't do YouTube all the time or you burn yourself out. So yeah, no, I think he usually takes it off and just goes and does some real life stuff. So
yes, I had mentioned the cards, but I wasn't sure, so I figured I'd give him the opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I know he's usually off on Tuesday, but you know what? Yeah. It's great to see Tony here. Hello, my friend. You know what? Right now, we need everybody who's still here to do me the favor. If you have not, the likes help, and also tweeting out off the browser that I'm live onto X. It really helps wake up the algorithm. And if you come through later, a comment, or even if you're with me now at the end of the show, you can refresh and leave a comment, and I'll reply. And I reply to all the comments that I can. And as far as the latest thing I've seen, Wes Cagle, get this. As I said, on Amazon, some of the Levi's seem to be, and they left, I'll give Amazon this credit, they left it up as the top comment. Some of these jeans are fake. 335 people found it helpful. So what do you think? You got to go to the mall and spend the extra $20. There's no saving money on the right pair of jeans because it's like you might have them 8 or 9 years, right?
Yeah, no, jeans can last a long time. So yeah, no, I like
pairs of jeans.
They
look like it though.
Yeah. No, I like to go, especially pants. Shirts, I don't have as much a problem buying online, but pants, shorts, pants, that sort of thing. I like to see them in person. I like to try them on. I like to give them a shot. I don't know. I'm
Here's the thing:
particular with my pants.
if it's marketed to mostly Japanese people or a Japanese designer, a medium is a large. You got to go for a large. A medium's a small, a large is a medium, and extra large is a large. If it's marketed to Japanese people.
Yeah, true. It's not untrue.
Well, I bought like a Theory, I think was the name of the designer, overcoat from them, and it was like, I'll get it like in my usual size, and I got it. I was like, oh, what the fuck? It was like
tight?
blinding me.
Yeah.
And you've seen me, I'm thin, so I was like, I'm a fat fuck. What the hell? And it's like, wait, this can't be me. I'm definitely not fat. Which everybody says to themselves, whether you are or not. But I was pretty sure of myself. And lo and behold, I was able to find out that the Theories run a size small. When I bothered to read the ratings, always look at the ratings, folks. Amazon does a relatively decent job of putting honest feedback up front. What do you think? Decent, right? Not the greatest.
Yeah. No. It sometimes it's difficult. I've gone for especially in the clothing area, and I look at the reviews, and there'll be a mixed bag. I get people saying, "I love it, I love it, I love it." Other people saying, "Oh, this is garbage. Don't ever buy from." And I got to think it might not be the top quality factory type of place that they're producing these, because the qualities will range from item to item in the same factory. So that's why you get this wildly swinging, consensus about, what
factory changes materials, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the factory changes up what it's making the stuff out of, but I've seen like Amazon, at least when a lot of people find it helpful, they'll leave that feedback up there for you.
Yeah.
And I got to say, the cannabis ball I buy from them is fantastic.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Okay. Well, like I said, my stuff tends to be non-clothing orders more than clothing, but shirts, socks, I'll buy that sort of stuff. Especially if it's t-shirts, just regular t-shirts. Collar shirts, I like to try them on, but
it needs a relaxed fit for the room to make your. Yeah, you know what? I used to like the relaxed fit, but then I got skinny, and now that I'm pretty thin, I just like true to size clothing. It works better for me. But I have a lot of leftover clothes from when I was bigger, and it's just like whenever it's like my shirt's kind of a little soiled and I want to put on something to go to sleep in, it's like one of my leftover t-shirts when I was a little bit bigger. Just throw that on.
Yeah.
Makes good sleeping clothes. I'm my own boyfriend, right? It's like my boyfriend's shirt, kind of. It's like, but it was me. It's like, this is me when I was heavier. Florida made a heavy guy out of me. I got fat in Florida, but I couldn't handle the heat.
Oh, yeah.
About
I would have thought you would have lost.
No, I started drinking a lot of water all the time, more than I could ever pee out. So that started putting on weight. That made me larger, which made me drink more water, which made me get bigger, which put on more weight. Now I'm running around drinking water and peeing and spending like $300 a month on water all the time. And what happened was I was so beat up from the heat that I was starting to have like a little bit of like points of the day where I didn't have good judgment in general because I was a little bit delirious from the heat. Well, if you get dehydrated, you get a little bit, you get a little bit disoriented. So I was having moments where I was like, yeah, I'll what did I want to, and while you're thinking this, like you're in the car with the air conditioning off and you've turned off the engine and you forgot to open the door and it's getting hotter and hotter and you're like, why am I knew I wanted to, and then like you're like, oh, and then you get out of the car and like as soon as you open the door, you see the heat ripples blow out onto the. You ever see that on the asphalt? It's like, looks like your car's on fire. And it's like I feel like some kind of NASCAR guy swathed an invisible flame.
You definitely have to have some good AC in Florida, because I mean, you when you got a good AC unit in the car or in the house, and then you walk outside. the heat hits you in the face
Stunning a little.
like a punch, man. It's, oh, good lord.
You needed to get good and cold for a while here and there to refresh you enough to deal with the punch, though.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. You can't deal with just a little bit less hot. That'll wake you up a little. You need the punch of cold. Like unless you have trails of frost coming out of the initial few inches of your vents, it's not enough AC in Florida. At least not in the summertime. But you got to be careful with that one.
Yep.
Although Florida seems to be streamer land. It's either Texas or Florida if you want to be a streamer.
Yeah. True.
Should we go, West Cagle? Where are we going, Texas or Florida? Or should we go to Pennsylvania?
Well, I listen. I got my brother moved. I told you, in the DMs when you were talking about a certain city, living outside of certain cities where all the crazies are, and I told you, yeah, that's why my brother left there and he moved to Florida. So I got my brothers down in Florida. I think if I moved out of Jersey, it might be down there.
The discussion was, where is hell? And my response was, well, we know two things. One, it ain't a bad place to be, and two, it's 45 minutes outside of Boston. I think the two things I said.
Yep.
Just about 45 minutes outside of Boston. 501s are for, you know what? You got to get them a size big. But yeah, they were too cheap. Like, you got to go down, and regardless of what the size is and whatever, you put on the 501s until you get the ones that fit. And then you just work forward from there. But man, sometimes it's just hard to get like normal ones. Like, most jobs will let you wear jeans to work, but most 501s are now, it's like pre-ripped up.
Yeah.
Extra distressed.
Yeah.
Sandblasted finish. And it's like, the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Cock hugger acid wash.
I keep my jeans long enough that they get distressed all on their own, so eventually they'll be like that. So.
This is somewhat true unless you get the right cut of 501s. Like, you gotta get the classic cut. Like, they will really squeeze the change purse hard. It's a bad thing.
So zipper, with Levi's, zipper or button fly? I mean, you have a preference?
You would prefer that they had the zipper, right? But the thing is, the button fly in a way never goes bad. It can be open quick enough, and in a weird way, like once the jeans are worn in, you can kind of close them just by pushing the two, like moving the two parts across each other. It gets like 2 out of the 3 buttons closed, and then you just push the top one, and you're pretty much set.
Yeah, you can one-hand it. Yeah.
You can one-hand the button flies after a while. But I mean, yeah, it would be great if they made the 501s with zippers. I think they do, but it's just like, it's so arbitrary, and the last thing you want is to spend that much money on pants and have the zipper break, because I don't know if they put the greatest zipper on them, because that's just not what they're about.
No.
And then there's a proliferation of near 501 type Levi's that suck.
Yeah, see, I didn't have a lot of Levi's when I was growing up, so I was we were I would say lower middle class, so we weren't that well off. So we always had Lee jeans instead of Levi's.
I had both, but the thing was, in college, one of my girlfriends said she liked the way guys looked in Levi's, so I just went with them for a long
there you
time.
go. That's always
she was really cute.
Always
she was really cute. Yeah.
I don't blame you. I'm just saying it's always because of a woman when you're a young guy. They influence most of the decisions we make almost all the time. Until we get smart, and it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be led by the nose here. But yeah. I mean, I did have a couple of Levi's, over the years when I was younger, but it was almost always Lee. I don't know why. I don't know. No. And I did notice that the Levi's held up longer. The Lee jeans, the knees went out within the first, I don't know, few months. They never lasted. Although I was, always digging outside and doing all kinds of stuff. So I mean, I don't fault Lee's.
You were really lucky if you could dig a year out of your Wranglers or your Lees. They just took it they disintegrated on impact. The Levi's though, they lasted. I don't know, but like the idea that Amazon can't guarantee that they're not counterfeits, like, what does that say if I want to buy like medical stuff from them?
Yeah.
Because they do sell that.
They do. They do. I started over the last, I don't know how many years of the last few years. My blood pressure was always like 90, like 89 over, or like 52. So it was always really, really low. It started creeping up, and the doctor's like, "Well, we're going to have to keep an eye on that." So I bought a cuff for here, and got it on Amazon, so I could keep track of that stuff. And it works. But hey, what if it's defective? And I was relying on that thing.
I feel like JT a little bit here. Yeah, when you're from the north, you could never wear or even rely on the Lees. They're just not. You
Yeah.
need them Levi's for the rough weather. You can get
Yep.
through a New York winter in them, which is a pretty good thing. I
Uh,
washed and I don't know. Like here's the other thing: you don't need to wash Levi's every time you wear them. Just have to, if they
no.
sit around for 2 or 3 days, they self clean. As long as
Yeah,
you don't
well,
spill food
yeah,
on them.
as long as you don't got stuff on them, yeah, you don't got dirt or food or something on there. If they were just casually worn, yeah, no, jeans are all right.
Even if you have a dryer and you put it in there for like 2 minutes on air, they're fine. They're
Oh
clean
yeah,
then.
freshen them up. Yeah, freshen them up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I would say this. We now have what, 3 days? Is it April 25th for Thunderbirds?
Oh, I don't know.
Thunderbolts? Thunderbolts?
I don't know.
Let's take a look for the Thunderbolts trailer. What do you think?
Sure.
Thunderbolts Marvel trailer. All right. I see the Thunderbolts Marvel trailer. It's now 2 weeks old, but you know what? That means that they'll probably be less eager to go after us for it. This is on India Marvel. Does that mean it won't be in American? I need this in fucking American. All right, so here it is in fucking American. 131,000 up, 3.7 thousand down. That's a pretty high amount up, but that's still a substantial amount of downvotes. 6 million views in 6 days. Wes Cagle, what do you think of that number? I've seen worse, right?
Yeah,
Seen
yeah,
worse.
no, it's not like it got ratioed.
Not ratioed, but it's not a great sign.
No,
All right,
you
let's see what we
don't.
got here.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second.
We are hanging on 1 second while Wes Cagle kills a bear, which is coming through his back door in New Jersey. We have the Thunderbolts trailer for you here. We're going to take a quick look at this thing and try to find out whether or not it's worth seeing. I'm going to see what the release date is. In theaters, May 2nd. All right, so I have a little more time on this than I thought. Now, we're going to see what kind of people you guys are. We're going to test the content of your character on our show. We're going
All
to
right,
start
there
a
you go.
poll right now.
Sorry about that.
Wes Cagle, we're going to start
Yes,
a
sir.
poll right now.
Good.
How bad of a person is Admiral Teag? Okay, so here we go. He must see Thunderbolts. Must see Thunderbolts. So bad he must see Thunderbolts. There we go. So bad he must see Fantastic Four in theater. What else? What other unpleasant fates are there out there? What's the other Disney show?
Well, you went and saw Snow Tan in the movie theater, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't force you to go through that again.
It wasn't as bad of an experience because people wanted me to go to it, but it was fun to go there on behalf of everyone in the channel. But the movie was as bad as people said. Like the movie was every bit as bad as people said.
Yeah.
And how people could have liked it. I mean, maybe if you missed the communist stuff up front, you could get by it for a while, but I don't know how you could. RRT and Z is here. Hail team! Right now you're competing with the Drinkers Space and Ice Happy Hour. And Lone Wolf McQuaid, that's enough testosterone to drown the Himalayas. Chuck Norris can simply walk into Mordor. Those are titans I'll engage with on a panel and chats that'll fly by so quick I just can't engage at all. They are mighty titans, and I take my hat off to both of them. But you know what? I am the worst. I must pay my panel, and they are the whole show. And Cosme account reported. Stop showing copyrighted material. Wes Cagle, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to make a Venmo transfer right now to your phone. I have his number. I'm transferring you a number 400 times higher than what Doomcock pays Sean Carter. All right, I just sent it.
Nice.
Yeah. 400 times 0, unfortunately. He's still pretty low. This idea, the attacks that this channel has come under because we simply had the guts to bring Star Trek forward makes me... Your little girly attacks, they make me laugh.
Girly, you girly, man. You're girly, you guy. It's a mosquito hitting me. I feel something, but I don't know what it is.
It's like Commando. It's like, you and your pissant soldiers. If Matrix were here, even though I'd just get him. How's that for Bennett?
You know what? I'm
pretty
looking
good.
at...
Was that a good Bennett?
Bennett, yes.
Matrix were here, even though I just get him.
Little more Cockney in there, I think.
He's Australian.
Yeah, but he's got that guttural cock. Oh, I guess all Australians have that guttural Cockney.
A little bit.
Yeah. So
I don't think he's trying to play British. I think he's just the thing is, as he tries to sound less ethnically or less specifically Australian and therefore harder to understand for the rest of the world, he did what Critical Drinker has mentioned, where Critical Drinker said one thing that really helped him in YouTubing was he before he had everything together as he was getting his ideas as a young critical teetotaler, he worked at a call center and he had to learn how to reduce his accent, and he didn't change his voice, but he had to learn how to speak clearly. And he said that it really was helpful in his job. It kept him it kept him employed. And it also, like, when he started doing YouTube, he was able to fall into that professional voice that he developed only to be understood because it was like a help desk for the whole world.
Okay. I'm looking at your poll. I'm looking at the poll here. You should have, instead of the see results, you said so bad you need to see a Thunderbolt, so bad you got to see Fantastic Four. You should have been, he's the devil, so he needs to see them both. What? Let me see. I don't know what's worse. You know what? I think Thunderbolts is just garbage. Seeing the Fantastic Four, I think, is a bigger torture. That's where I got to vote.
Thunderbolts, the thing is probably pretty brief, and then Fantastic Four comes out like 2 months later. So if you think of this for a moment, Wes Cagle, but if you think of this, Wes Cagle, right? The Thunderbolt, the Fantastic Four looks like a franchise-ending event. So here we go.
Belena being the hero.
Okay.
Huh.
Being a hero, there is no higher calling. Okay.
There is no higher calling.
Okay, so I guess this is her in her Black Widow outfit, or is this Black Widow 1.0? Oh, yeah, no, we're going to mention. So we got her out of the way so we didn't have to pay her. We shoved her the fuck out of this franchise. But we're going to do this.
Understood something about that.
I should have come back.
Okay, this looks terrible, all right? So really quick before we go any further down the road of Thunderbolts, and it's horrible. Saturday, I had the pleasure of talking to Northern English Bastard. Have you heard of this great YouTuber?
Vaguely. I've never seen any of his stuff,
good.
but I know I've
good.
heard that name. I've heard the name.
You'll see him here. He's pretty good. And we did season 2 of Miami Vice, so I had to watch a bunch of Miami Vice. The thing is, we also got our wires crossed. So he told me he didn't know that yeah, exactly, Tony. They kill her off so they can invoke her memory in this. It's like, why not just keep her then? But in Miami Vice season 2, right? It's like the show is dark. It is gritty. It is pretty fun sometimes too. It is like a good watch. It's enjoyable. The thing is, it's like, here's the problem. Tough guy. Wait, hold on. Rephrase. Hard drinking, therefore usually hungover, angry, cranky, screamy, yelly, pretty boy loser, wearing pale pink pants and a white jacket with a turquoise t-shirt with no sleeves, walks into work where no nonsense Lieutenant Castillo is telling everyone else to get themselves up to regulation and run a regulation investigation. Crockett walks in and yells and screams and cries like a little baby to his boss, where his boss tells him, all right, I'll look into it. Because Lieutenant Castillo is Adama, right? So he's a decent actor, and you're left to wonder how bad would this be without it. So Simon Laban and El DeBarge go out to look for fucking reasons to fight crime, right? And I was there, and yeah, right. And my job was like to kind of provide context, but I also it was a fun show. It is a fun show. So I watched a whole lot of season 2 Miami Vice, and while I'm watching it, I'm having a blast. But it's so funny. It's like in a white terry cloth biker jacket with shoulder pads and pale pink pants and a teal t-shirt with no sleeves, chain smoking tough guy, and because of his shirt we've seen that his arms have absolutely no tone. Like, I could beat up Crockett. I'm being honest. Like, I could beat up Crockett. The show is the only reason he wins any fight, right? So yeah. Simon Laban there and El DeBarge, they're out there fucking fighting crime, and it's just like, he's dressed like a loser. Then he pulls out a fucking hand cannon and blows off like 60 rounds without reloading. Okay, that's cop show standard stuff. I get it. Tubbs has a conspicuously underpowered 5-round, 38. And then all of a sudden they grow shotguns and machine guns from under their coat jackets. It's ridiculous, by the way. And like, he's a crybaby bastard about his car. So Crockett just walks around throwing all other characters out of character by being a little bitch baby. And like, so they asked me like what I thought of watching it, and I said, I gotta be honest, this was a fun show and I liked it, but my father was NYPD and he was a detective, and this was like, they respected that. And I was like, and this was the 70s and 80s, so my father had seen some stuff, and they're like, what happened? I'm like, how do I put this? My father would sit around misgendering Crockett and making some guesses about how he liked to spend his time on the weekend, and saying that he would like to kick his ass, and that if any cop walked into work dressed like that, the other cops would beat their ass. And then in one of the episodes, they go to New York, and every New York cop wants to beat the shit out of him. I'm like, nope, this is accurate. It's accurate.
There you go.
Also, in Miami Vice, voodoo is real. Yeah. There's like some guy like crashes. Like, there's a guy who's like a dirty cop, and he's in a deal with the Santeria people, and they have voodoo and Santeria going on. And so like there's a raid going on, and Crockett and Tubbs are machine gunning and shotgunning their way across Beverly Hills Cop style in a like almost comical, like outright comical shootout. Rolling and diving in your white linen suit without wrinkling it or getting it dirty. Killing people and beating them down, punching the shit out of someone with your pink shirt on. It was beyond ridiculous. The terry cloth biker jacket, West. The white terry cloth biker jacket with a light pink, with a teal shirt and light pink pants, West Kegel.
Well,
the tough guy cop who dressed like that.
Yeah, but you know what? This show just screams mid '80s. So I mean, I love the '80s. Some of the fashion is very questionable.
Yeah, Burn Fried Axe Wielder is right. This is a seriously bad Red Guardian. He was really done dirty, by the way. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It does scream '80s, but it doesn't scream '80s America. It's
No.
like if you watch the video for Hungry Like a Wolf, the guys from England who wear European clothes in Duran Duran, they are wearing the same clothes as Crocker
Yeah,
and Tubbs.
no. That's
But
why
better.
I laughed. That's why I laughed when you called him. I called him.
Simon Le Bon. But what's
I was
funny
behind
was
the bars.
guess what? They go to a bar and they're drinking, and Crockett's an asshole. He can't have a beer like a normal fucking human being. He's drinking shots, right? And he's got a fucking gun on him, and he's drinking and drinking and drinking. And he's talking to people at the bar, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" They're like, "Oh, let's go with all might." And he's like, "JT, what's going on?" And I'm like, "That's John Taylor." And they go up there, and it's the Michael DeBar version of the Power Station, the one that did the theme song from Commando. And I'm like, holy shit, it's the Power Station. And then like they just go on to play a different version of Bang a Gong, which is not their original. It doesn't Shazam, but I figured out it was them. I Googled it and I definitely verified it was them. I'm like, that's Michael DeBar's. I figured it out. And so, like, in that episode, Crockett walks up to cops whose friends just got killed Santeria style and tells them that they're dirty too, and starts yelling at them and starts a fist fight, and Tubbs has to bail him out, and then the other cops want him and he wants to get with them, and blah blah blah. It's so stupid. And then like at the end, like one of the dirty cops crashes his squad car through a wall and shows up at the final shootout, stumbles out of his car already bleeding and bloody, pulls out his gun but then drops dead anyway, and they run over to him and they pull they pull him over onto his back, and they're looking at his wound in his stomach, and it's the voodoo talisman they've been playing with later. It just appeared inside his body. And Crockett looks at Tubbs and he's like, "See, voodoo." And they're like, I'm like, when they're on the stand, what was that like? And that's when the voodoo took him down, Your Honor. Right?
Yeah.
And then in another episode, Tubbs gets interested in how they're using voodoo to cover up for a crime. So he goes and starts going to the voodoo belief place, and they shoot him up with voodoo heroin. And he's like, "Blah!" He's having like a drug trip for the whole time. And I'm like, where do I get some? So it was fun and it was funny. And it was pure 80s. But here we go back into my regular.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Arraignments, but it was fun. I can't wait to do it again. And Northern English Bastard will probably be here soon. What are those Pack-Leds up to? Those Pack-Leds, what are they doing?
Yeah,
it looks to me like the Pack-Leds are still in orbit. There's no problem here. You know what? I'm not really afraid, and we're starting to get a great analytic here. Guys, I got to tell you, I thank all of you for showing up and supporting my show. We have had the craziest time the last few weeks. What we're doing now is we're just honoring the Tuesday and Thursday commitment. Do I come on later on tonight and do a second Tuesday show? You know what? I reserve the right to do that because right now what's been going on is there have been people who have been tampering with the show. And we need your comments and we need your likes to really get past the tampering. It's a sabotage, the problem we have. I don't know who does it. I really don't know who it is, but people are fucking with the show. People are fucking with the streams. People are fucking with what we're trying to do here. And you know what? It denies me a chance to compete on even terms. And it's done by losers who cannot stand the fact that we have a pretty good show that's fairly successful. And isn't, for a lot of people and a lot of you, I thank the fact that you have shown that you enjoy watching it. So thank you very much. And it's only with your help and power that we overcome this sabotage. So, you know what? Like, we're up to 23 likes. I always love to get 30. It means so much to me to get 30. If we can, it would be great. But you know what? 23 likes is a lot. Let's see what people think of me as a human being. How bad of a person is Teag? So bad, he must see thunderbolts. So bad he must see F4 in theaters. Guys, I can tell you right now, that's almost a no-go. Thunderbolts, okay, but theaters, I gotta tell you, Wes Cagle and I, we watched the Fantastic Four video. We watched the Fantastic Four trailer, didn't we? Did I watch it with you? I watched it with you.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I've seen it, but I've not. I don't think I was here when you guys watched that. Fantastic Four is
boy. Oh, I the Fantastic Four trailer. It's just, uh, oh, oh man, it screams that it's really bad. We've looked at this a couple of times, but it is like a treasure trove of horror. It is just one of the very worst things we've ever seen. Um, it honestly, it can't hold up to how stupid it is.
Hey, hang on, we have new things on the long range sensors. If you
Hey, Gap, what's going on? The Pac-led ship has gone to warp. Guys, we're going to do this real quick because we have, if we get fired on now, we'll know for sure who it is. But here we go. They say this like, we know the story. We all know the story of the 4 brave astronauts who went to space. Here's Vanessa Kirby. She's there, Sue Storm. She's like, I mean, she's pretty and she's all right, but she just doesn't look like Sue Storm. She's too old. She's like 39, which is not old, but too old for this role. Then we say, oh, by the way, it's Johnny Storm. He's kind of like a soy loser. Then, yay. It's a retro futuristic 1961. Here we see the thing is, looks like maybe his head's about the right size here, but that's not consistent. The cop uniforms are wrong. They freed themselves from accuracy with this retro futurism, which makes life easier. Please welcome the Fantastic Four. Oh, we have dinner every day at 6, like a family. And they go, oh, you're late. And she's like, late? What do you mean? Because, oh, they're going to be parents. And look at, like, fucking loser, idiot Pedro. He's a moron. And then, like, whatever, they have this stupid conversation. And then, like, Johnny Torch here, whatever, fucking Flamo boy, Johnny Storm, he's positive that they're going to be the best parents, the bestest ever parents, because him and Thing will be the bestest ever uncles. Look at the thing, how the Thing's head is conspicuously smaller than their heads. It's smaller than a human head. Just the brow part is larger.
Yeah.
From the like eye line down, it's a little bit small. It's too small for his body, and he's too small. He should be a lot more imposing. So he's not. Look at this fucking loser. He's a British cigarette. It rhymes with not sack, but bag. I mean, what the fuck's going on with this guy? He's a dick. Yeah, you're gonna be parents. Then the stupid robot that looks like Dio from fucking Rise of Skywalker. And then, like, this is when we get to the part where, like, okay, now we're going to introduce Reed Richards, world's smartest man. There's Times Square. They're retro-futuristic New York. It's not so fucking great. Are you the protectors of this world? Look at this. The Silver Surfer looks like shit. She's not good looking, and the rendering isn't good.
Yeah, that I've heard a lot of, that the effects for the T2000 all the way back in the 90s were better than this.
And I gotta wonder about that. Yeah, it is better. So why do this to us now? Where'd the money go? So here's Human Torch. He goes to like fire warp, right? We see all this shit, and it's the Silver Surfer. Like, yeah, you're a bunch of dicks. We hate you all. And like, I don't know if he gets up so high that he goes out, right? Is it because there's no air up there? Why does he go out? At any rate, she like swats him or something. And he's like, ah! And like, I would say, do you remember Captain Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
This is the Captain Marvel fall, isn't it?
Oh, okay. You know, if he went up so high that there was no air and that's why he went out, shouldn't he be dead too? I mean, his flame is the only thing that's allowing him to survive up there.
And here's like, look at how diverse this picture is. We have like 2 white people put their women, a black woman in the back to offset the fact we have a sort of white guy with Pedro, whatever he wants to call himself this week.
This is the worst Reed Richards.
Is Pedro? Let me ask you this: there is no such thing, but does Pedro count as Latinx? He's the one person. Him and Rachel Ziegler are the only 2 Latinx people, right?
Yeah. There you go.
I think he is. He's from Planet Latin 10. This fucking asshole. Look at his head there. His head is comparable in size to Johnny Storm's. That's wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
That is really badly wrong. We're sorry, Clobby. Here, his great words. Can you help us? I'm not sure. Are you the right people? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
look, here he is on the set of Loki. I can't do it, but I'm not giving up, but I'm not good enough. Just give up. We will face this together, so he needs help. Somewhere between here and here is where Sue Storm sets him straight, by the way.
Of course.
Here we go. Guys, look, they took part of Independence Day and pretended like it was its own real new movie. I hate their retro-futuristic car because it doesn't pass the LOL test. That car wouldn't drive in the real world or their world. It's too low to the ground. Its body is too low. It would ground out left and right. We ground out left and right.
Yeah. Try going down the driveway too.
Yeah. So they're like, he's like, we're not good enough again. So here she is saying, you know, I can help you do it. You can do it if you listen to me. Now here comes Gom 2 or whatever, you know, Sharon Surfer, the Silver Surfer, because she's shilling. This visual's all right. He runs through all this concrete. Wait, hold on. Look how dumb this is. Look how dumb some of this is. It's like, it has to be us. Like, I can help you do it because you're a loser. All right, so yeah, here they are. This is that same talk show. So this is where he turns at the fire. He's like, shh. Look at that. Oh, he's parting the water with his... That was so cool. And so here we got this. Supposed to... Look how tiny his head looks here. It doesn't look right. So then, this is it. Oh, here, her and her hero pose. Him doing his gummy man thing. 1 second of him. Then we're back to her. I've pointed this out every time. You know what the problem with this pose is? It's not that this pose isn't identified with her. It's that this pose is not from the right angle. This pose does not have the right expression. And she is not from the right position for this pose to make her look sexy. She looks awkward. She looks unsexy. She looks afraid. She looks uncool. And this is not an inspiring image. What do you think of that classification?
Well, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
Am I being istophobe here?
No.
But is it, right? She looks kind of like unattractive. She looks kind of unappealing, and she looks kind of unbrave. It's not doesn't. Oh my God! Yeah, all is not well at the Fantastic Four. Hey, we got Chuck Norris is the phonetic spelling of Kwasach Hadarach. Thank you, RRTNZ, my friend, for the 5 New Zealand dollars. I really, really appreciate you. I saved the universe from Thanos only to see Thunderbolt, says Stark of Iron. I think I'm the one that people like to send to bad movies because of I think the meltdownishness is probably what they like. I don't know. But I think the fact that I've reviewed them in serious style both times has had something to do with it. But let's see. Hail team, right now I'm competing with the Drinker and Ice Space and Happy Hour. Lone Wolf McQuaid. Good stuff. That's enough to testosterone to drown the Himalayas. Chuck Norris can simply walk into Mordor. I read that one already. All right, I'm behind. I didn't read this one, though. This was the one. Chuck Norris is the phonetic spelling of Kwasach Hadarach. They swapped out. Like, don't you love this moment we caught her in here? It's not the actress's fault, but how funny is this?
Oh, yeah.
Look at her eyes.
She got a Ziegler palsy face going.
Weird. The casting for Fantastic Four is is way off, and then an appearance of a female Silver Surfer who only showed up in 6 issues. Give me a break. Yeah, and that Silver Surfer, not so much on the surfing. Doesn't she sort of fly around? She doesn't have that feature.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not well enough versed in the Fantastic Four comic universe, the comic book universe.
From what I understand, that female Silver Surfer is referred to a lot. She first appears in 2000. She's around in time to be more or less established lore for the 07 movie, but they make him too much of her here. And Hale Lombardi, I agree. Yeah, I am so tired of Pedro Pascal. Call Michael Pena. Michael Pena, right? Call anyone else. Call Emilio Estevez. Call Emilio Estevez. And Hale. Hot take, I think Brie Larson is beautiful and did a good job as Carol Danvers in Faux Cap Marvel. And as long as you don't have to shrimp her, there are things about Brie Larson that are appealing. She's good looking, but it's just like she and Rachel Ziegler have what I call Amber Heard disorder. Like, they're absolute knockouts in real life, but do you want anything to do with either of them? You know what I mean? It's like, are they pretty anymore?
I have to disagree with Rachel Ziegler. I think somebody hit her upside the head and in the face with the ugly 2x4 stick.
I don't think she's that bad looking, but like she really doesn't have much of a figure. She really is spiteful looking, and she has given herself like. Here's the thing: if you just met Rachel Ziegler in a bar, she's not an absolute knockout, but she's kind of pretty. If she was talking to you, you'd be interested in it if she wasn't an asshole.
No,
You know what I mean?
not if I could transplant your Johnson and use it, Teague. I wouldn't go near. I'm sorry.
No, not the real Rachel Ziegler. Give her a personality. It's a different person.
Oh,
It's just a really strong.
No, I'm
resemblance.
sorry. Her looks. She's awful. She's
right.
I'm sorry.
But it
just,
wasn't
maybe it's
as
me,
though
maybe
she was that. She didn't start out that ugly. She earned it. Look, there are several things about her we could point out that are associated with being good looking. It's just that she has ruined it with her personality. I call it Amber Heard disorder. Like, it's not unreasonable to say she's good looking, but it's like, I wouldn't want anything to do with her though. It's like not enough money in the world, not enough tea in China, not enough booze. And it gets to the point, like, look at Johnny Depp. He couldn't get away from Amber Heard fast enough, but look at her as Mira in the first movie. She's got a great figure.
Good looking, just like Brie Larson. Brie Larson's, I agree. Brie Larson's
except the toes.
Good looking, but what you need to do is you need to just walk around with a roll of duct tape, so that you could just cover her mouth so she just can't talk.
She hasn't said anything messed up in a really long time. It seems as though she's cognizant of what she's done. If you've noticed, Brie Larson is now like, I don't know. Maybe the fans are right.
Well, she hasn't said anything publicly, but anybody dating her still has to listen to her in private. So that's why, if you're going to date her,
you know what? If you're going to date Brie Larson, good luck, lady. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem to me like she's that big of a deal. But like, here's the thing: after his girlfriend, right, straightens this loser out. So she looking so unappealing in this pose. This is almost ugly on purpose.
Yeah, well, I've said this before. That's Hollywood. Even if they manage
this kind of almost makes it right.
They cast ugly people all the time now, but if they happen to cast a normal, good-looking like we used to get in the old days of Hollywood,
they ugly them up.
They ugly them up every time.
Sydney Sweeney's last 4 movies, she's only looked like herself twice. She's played Christy Martin, the boxer from the 90s, and she's played a 12-year-old through CGI. So here's Pedro doing his Fantastic Four thing. And then we got to get on it. We got to concentrate on her. And by the way, this to me says Matt Shackman's a hack. Refracted light. Lens flare.
That's JJ's go-to.
Well, he's JJ's guy. He was the last announced director on Star Trek 4. What does that tell you about his worthlessness and uselessness as a director?
Yeah.
By the time he's the JJ track director, everybody knows it. And Sci-Fi Mombi saying hi to Jedi Master 2022, Lost in Space Classic Sci-Fi. Good to see you. Good to see DJ Play Nice and both the Sci-Fi Mombi as well. And it's good to see you. And it's Dark of Iron still hanging with everybody. JT is here. Reverend Burnford is here. Let's see. Always they try to bring the same 3-story Fantastic Four comic run, into every single time, and they fuck it up. Try a new story and don't make it woke. Well, they did this story better originally. That one is now a guilty pleasure, not so terrible movie, isn't it? It's kind of like Batman 5, isn't it? It's kind of like Batman and Robin.
See, even the movies that are bad, when we panned them when they came out, and they're not good. They have decided, Hollywood always says, well, hold my beer, and give us such garbage that the garbage we watched before is good by comparison. Always is.
They're always bailing themselves out like that. I guess we ended the poll. All right.
Yes.
All right, let's see something here really quick. Okay, let's see. What's a worse Batman movie? And we'll take a snap poll and we'll see how fast we can get out of here. Because we're approaching the witching hour.
Yes.
What's a worse Batman movie? Let's see how people feel about this. Batman at BVS, Batman and Robin, and what's the other Snyderverse one with him? Justice League.
Oh, you're just sticking. You're not doing any of the other ones.
It doesn't have to. I just want to see what's well out of the other ones. We know they're kind of okay.
Well, the problem with any of the newer ones that for a while they're like the Batman versus Superman, is that it's Ben Affleck, and I'm sorry, I know people like him. I will avoid
He's
a movie
trending today.
Yeah.
Should we add in one more movie? All right, let's put The Batman in there too, because people seem to hate that piece of shit too. Here we go. We got a poll. Snap poll. What's movie is Batman is what? Wow, that was written in retard. We gotta get rid of that. I wrote that in total retard. Which movie with Batman is worse? That was so bad.
I think watching this trailer has affected
We're
your
all
mental
dumber for that.
Yeah.
I think everybody's affected by how dumb I was. BVS, everyone knows what that is. Batman and Robin, everyone knows what that one is with George Clooney. What's the other one? What's another bad Batman movie? Justice League.
Well, originally you had Justice League in there, and then the Batman.
Justice League has to be in there, and then the Batman. That's the way to do it. Yeah, these are your choices. All right, guys, let's see if we can't get this poll together. What movie with Batman is worse? Let's just do this real quick. BVS, Batman vs Superman, Batman and Robin. Wow, off to an early lead. Batman and Robin. See, I think BVS is worse because it's a lot longer. Justice League, very long movie that sucks, and the Batman, which sucks. The Batman, wow, people, not a lot of sentiment for the Batman. The Batman and Robin, neck and neck. It looks like people are going to stay away from BVS and Justice League. There seems to be a Snyderverse contingent here. And hail, Reverend. FFCGI sucks. Fantastic Four CGI really doesn't look too good. No, it's inconsistent at best. She is the, you know what? Jessica Alba looked great. I don't think anyone's going to get mad at us that we objectify Jessica Alba just a little bit. She was beautiful. How dare I mention the Bat Nipples Batman? Bat Pattinson? Yeah, Pattinson. Let's see. We got just 4 votes. Let's see if we get a few more.
Yeah.
So she's using whatever her invisible girl aura. I refuse to call it invisible.
Oh, yeah. She can project force field. Yeah. So I guess that's what she's trying to.
And she could also make
him down.
She could also make him stop being a cowardly douchebag.
Yeah. See, the
We
problem.
will help you.
One of the problems here is
my wife says we can do it.
When you've got the two of them together, standing together, isn't Reed Richards supposed to be significantly taller than Sue Storm? Either she's too tall to play Sue Storm, or he's too short to play Reed Richards. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Sue is just as tall as him. I always got the impression that he was significantly not like towering over, but significantly enough that this is awkward looking.
Let's give people a little bit of time to vote. Let's give people a moment to vote. It's a very difficult vote, I realize. Now remember, in BVS, he travels from Metropolis to Batman. To Metropolis where Batman I'm sorry, from Gotham where Batman is to Metropolis. Okay, Wes Cagle, you are aware of this, correct?
Yes.
He takes a Ford Escalade there. Not any kind of car worthy of Batman, but a Ford Escalade. Takes a Ford Escalade to see. I, for one, found this disturbing, and I was not happy with it. That's me. I'm a traditionalist. Call me crazy. Trying to fix this, and we're going. Hello, we're back. So whatever. I'm a traditionalist. I can't get rid of this other bad browser now. Oof! I hate when YouTube does it to me. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Forces the screen. There's too much retrofuturism. It makes me ill. It's really over the top. It's too much. And I just, oh God, you know what? We don't need it. It doesn't make the most sense. And there's now nothing wrong with going after those original shows and saying that they were pretty good and that they did have some element of fun in them. So let's see. 9 votes real quick. What's the worst? Batman and Robin really running away with it. The Batman doing well, and BVS represented fairly well here in what I would call, it's still moving. I almost ended it. We got 10 votes. I'll leave it alone for a while. I'll give it a few more minutes. I think it takes a few moments for them to charge their weapon. But I would say attacking me now would really probably make that person look extremely culpable. My device is tied up, people. After The Last of Us, Pedro's going to need this. Possibly the Mando movie, too. Oh, she's so... The idea, and Wes Cagle, I think, agrees with me on this. The idea that to a generation, Pedro Pascal represents family is, to us, upsetting. The idea that he represents fatherhood to an entire generation is, to Wes Cagle and myself, upsetting.
Yes,
because he's such a bad example of these things.
Exactly. No, he is no. But I think that millennials and Gen Z can identify with him as being a family father figure because that's what's been force fed to them.
A lot of their fathers became gay after their mother fended them off by being a super bitch.
Well,
BVS is really getting somewhere. It's up to 30%.
That's what
I'd vote for.
It's what Hollywood and television, has fed them that fathers are supposed to be like, instead of the fathers we saw on TV growing up and what we saw in real life when we were growing up in the 70s and so forth.
Right. The dad that told you to try your best, the dad that cared about you, having, something going for you. And guys, if you haven't joined the channel, I'd love it if you did it now. Guys, if you hadn't hit those like and follow buttons, turn on that notification bell. That's something that I absolutely will allow people to do now. I'm going to break with tradition here. And if you're watching the show, just go right ahead and hit the like button. Usually I don't like it when people do that, but we only need one more to make 30, and that would mean so much to me. It would mean the world to get to 3-0. Please, just one more like. Jason Love. Hello, Jason Love. Good to see you. Everybody's here. We got everybody. It's so good to see everyone here. JT Kirk is in the crowd. Wes Cagle, Jedi Master 2022, Lost in Space and Classic Sci-Fi is here. We've got everyone. Gap After Dark. We've got Sci-Fi Mommy. We've got Jason Love. I love you guys. And Wes Cagle. Wow. Wes Cagle gifting 1 Admiral Teag membership. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that.
Look who got it.
I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. I wonder who got it. Let's see who got that one.
Look at it. Look.
Oh, wow. We can't put this on screen, but we can put it on screen if we reduce the size of the poll. I think if I reduce the size of the poll, I can put it on screen. Let me see. Oh, wow. You know what? He's been almost continuously a member of the channel. It's Snowdub. Snowdub. It's like Snowdub is like with gift memberships has been a member of the channel for like something like a total of like 13 months out of like a possible 16 months you can be a member. Mm-hmm. And I've been a member of his through Gifties a lot either. And one thing I do want to say is people can be on at the same time without butchering each other's analytic and being adversarial. Snowdub has always been very supportive of me, even though we're on at the same time. And here's the thing. We're very, very different shows. There are people who will watch me one Saturday and Snowdub the next because they're just in the mood for a different show that night. There's people who watch Snowdub all the time and only watch me on the rewind. There's people who never watch me and only watch Snowdub. There's people who never watch Snowdub and only watch me. But there's a lot more people who watch Snowdub because he had great success. And he reached out right to me when I supported him when he got that unfair community guideline strike for just growing too fast. And what really it seems to have happened is one of the people who he had a liberal tears for really just became petulant about this one and tried to say that like he unfairly used their likeness in his product. But the thing is, if you want to play baseball, you accept the possibility that you could hit a home run. And when you hit a home run, the baseball might leave the park. You know what I'm saying, Wes Cagle?
Oh, yeah.
You can't say what happens to that baseball once a fan catches it. So Snowdub simply harvested these reactions where people went on to be cool They wanted to be cool. They wanted all their friends to tell them they were cool. When they like screamed and yelled and freaked out, right? About this and that or whatever political thing or whose flag should fly over what country and all that other shit. So they go and they do that. And that goes on for an extended period of time. And you know what? It's ridiculous. And what does it add to? And they end up destroying what is enjoyment here. You know what? If you're going to go out there and try to get your likes and your lols from having people sympathize with you, and you give away a terrible reaction to what is otherwise a fairly common sense point of view, a development favored by most people, or something that you'll survive, something that people have survived before, like just, I got news for you guys. Yep, Snow got the gift. I got news for you guys. The Democratic Party survived they survived segregation and slavery. Like, they'll be back. Okay, they're West Kegel. They'll be back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, unfortunately.
They'll probably, well, here's the thing. If they purge all their leaders and they come back with better ideas, then they will be less nauseating and they'll be able to contribute to the dialogue. We may not want them calling the tune, but the absence of any ideas from one side of the spectrum is so bad for all of us. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's really bad.
And I think, could that perhaps in any way be the people from Amazon? But you know what? This is what happens when one side of the spectrum breaks down.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Every time.
Certainly
we won't west, he says at first. We won't west. Turns into Elmer Fudd there.
I think, didn't Senator Schreiber have a broken hip for a while, and that's why there's like a Kanan picture, and that's why he slips a little bit, and he's like,
Was it him?
Right?
I know Mitch fell and broke everything. I don't remember if
yeah, and we don't want anyone to be hurt, but I think
no,
could it be the painkillers talking where it's like right? I mean, could it just be maybe a little doped up? We don't know. All we know is that it's been has this been an amazing show, or is it just me?
Yeah,
seems like it's been
great.
amazing.
It's been great. Hey,
all you guys have been
also,
freaking awesome.
You know, Batman and Robin was running away with it. Look what just caught up, man.
What happened? What? Oh my God!
It was dead tied for a little while. Batman and Robin took the lead again, but Batman versus Superman actually tied it at one point. The votes keep coming in.
See, Batman versus Superman is as bad as Batman and Robin, in my opinion. Batman and Robin at least has a better visualization of the city than you have in BVS. In BVS, he drives from from Gotham to Metropolis, and you can't tell the difference. These cities have 90 and 80-year cinematic histories. You can make them look very different. We have the animated series. You can notice Metropolis, very modern, very futuristic, almost Jetsons-like. Gotham, very gothic, very old, very Detroit on steroids, a very big Detroit. Gargoyles, gothic stuff, very, 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 gothic looking, Baroque era looking. A lot of Beaux-Arts buildings. Metropolis, super modern. When they drive from one to the other in Zack Snyder's movie, you don't get that feeling at all that you're going from one city to another. He drives from one bland thing through a bland suburb to another blah city. It really, it shows his vision is terrible. 15 votes. I just think he lacked the vision, because the idea that the cities would be proximate was good. But then it's not in the rest of his narrative. It was like the last thing he thought of. You guys, it is 5:46. We have only a few more seconds left. Only 3 or 4 minutes left in the show for you to vote on this. Well, can we get the 20 votes? Can we get the 30 likes? Oh, please. I beg of you, my friends, get me to 30 likes. I'm at 29. I am your humble servant. Just one more is needed to get me to 30. And it will come through later.
It looked like one more vote did come in, but it was somebody downvoted us.
Someone downvoted it? So Comic Relief Crusader, hello to you, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say. I meant Communist Belief Crowd Sorcerer, hello to you, and you're one downvote all the time. If I was making my streaming world the center of my world, and the center of my streaming world was that I was really looking hard for a job. I might not be streaming in the middle of the workday when I have no excuse to be doing anything but look for a job, but that's just me. Boy, is that ever a bad fucking look. Hello, John the Beagle Dad. John, give me one more like so I can get to 30, please. Gotta do it. This needs to happen. Not just for me, but for all mankind. In less than an hour, subscribers from here will be joining others from around the world, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Can we get to 30? Maybe not. Well, you know what? People might come through later. I don't know. I'm hoping. I already did. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for helping me. To get the 30 likes. The joy we would get from that. We might go into overtime, or I'll tell you what. We will leave it to the people who come through later. It's been wild. I feel like I'm on something. What can it be?
Pure anti-proton. Absolutely pure.
Yeah, that looked like Kirk gives talk every time, man.
Strong accusation there from Commodore Decker. I don't know if I like what he's saying. All right, we got 16 votes. That's a decent amount of votes. Everybody, and if you could give me one more like, would I ever be so pleased if you could give me that one more like. To get the 30 likes, what it would mean to Admiral Teag. I don't see the one down vote yet, so whatever. I love you all. Yeah, just one more like. Yeah, I'll do so much for that like. I'll do anything. What do I have to do? Do I have to turn on the camera? Is that good? Is that what you want? Do you want me to see me on camera? Do you want me to turn my back to the camera? That's what I'll do. Other people drinking stuff. What do you think of this, Wes Cagle?
There you go. Hey, is that still allowed? I mean, it's 4:21 now, not 4:20 no more.
I've been on live for a couple, a good 2 hours. So I think that it is. It's not about like you having smoke trailing from your face or anything. It's about whether or not you have whether or not like you're taking hits actively. I think like if you're vaping, you're kind of set because it can't tell because the end doesn't light up as how the AI finds it. The TV rule is if in a movie you smoke pot, it doesn't matter. But if you show the people inhaling, it's an automatic R. If you notice, they cut before the inhale a lot, and you just see the person handing it off and doing the exhale. Hey, Snowdub, it's good. I don't know if Snowdub's here, but you know what? Snowdub is the man. And like I said, we have proven that you can be collegial and have a guy like Snowdub as a friend. He's been on this show. We loved having him on here. Maybe to a familiar Genesis or Phil Collins song. You know what? The Phil Collins episode of Miami Vice was hilarious. Phil the Shill. I would have had that as one of my top 5, but there were just other better episodes. Let me see if I even still have my notes. Let me look back and see if I have my notes for episode for the. Oh, I do.
I didn't even know Phil Collins was in Miami Vice. I only know him
as a game show host.
The only thing I've ever seen him in, and I'm sure he's been in other things. I only remember seeing him in that movie And the Band Played On with Matthew Modine. He played the bathhouse owner.
Right. Okay, so my top 5 list. Let's see if I can find it. I had so many pages of notes. Once I committed, I started taking notes like crazy, which was good because some people like needed other people to jump in because like it was about like conversing about your top 5. But I watched almost the whole season, so I was able to contribute a little bit when people would get a little lost. So I'm like, if I remember that one correctly, I don't think that is Melanie Griffith. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like here and there with a little bit of helpful advice. But for the most part, it was a really great conversation. Season 2, what were my top 5? Come on, Admiral. What were your top 5? You're a loser. You loser. Where's your list? You made a list. You know what? I know that the opening movie was like part 1 and part 2 because it was really good. Here we go. Part 1 is Prodigal Son, part 1 and 2. Number 2 is Out Where the Buses Don't Run. It had D-Day from Animal House as a crazy ex-cop. That guy was actually in his mid-40s, and he was like 39 when he played D-Day, so he's like a really good actor. Whatever Works and Tale of the Goat were 3 and 4. They were Voodoo and Santeria, respectively. In the world of Miami Vice, Voodoo just works. It just works. Guys, please, 30 likes, please. We get there. Can we get there? Can we get the 30 likes? We're stuck at 29. I understand. You know, sometimes we have just shook all the likes out of this. I mean, maybe there are no more to be had, but if I could get one more, man, I'd be one happy guy, let me tell you. But so then Whatever Works, Tale of the Goat, the 2 Voodoo ones, and Little Miss Dangerous featured 80s and 90s pop singer Fiona. She had a sultry, sexy voice, and it was very, like, she was a psycho hooker, and it was very interesting with a dark psychological vibe, sort of like that guy's Manhunter movie. And it was like, it was fun with street people in episode 5, because, like, the people who were out of work or down in their luck in their city, they still cared about them. They still treated them as people. It was like the first episode I saw where they were shown as like they loved their city, which is important in cop shows. You have to be seen as a cop who loves his city.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Or one, like, if you have a couple of cops, one could be jaded because he fell off the path, but like the other one's trying to right him, help him get back on it.
That is actually. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just me. I remember a lot of, well, at least in movie wise, in television, it still was the same where the cop needed to love his city. But the cops in movies in the 70s were very pessimistic and almost had a adversarial feeling.
They loved their city in spite of itself.
Changed in the 80s where it had to be an all out love. It wasn't just a grudging love because they grew up there. It was an absolute adoration for the city. And I think that's an 80s thing because it was a 70s. The 70s is always dark and gritty compared to the 80s. It's just such a paradigm shift in everything, in entertainment from the 70s to the 80s. So
as the son of a cop, I could, hey, Mr. House 46, hello. As someone whose father was a cop, I could say, like, and he was a city detective. He went from loving his job to hating that he loved his job that he hated, right? To loving his job again before he got out of there. So I think it ran the gamut. But I think you also, like, after 20 or so years, like, you put a few years on more than 20, he was just like, you know, like, now that I'm not that into it, like, I shouldn't be a cop. And that is also a really good decision where I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, why should I compromise my principles or do this halfway? I don't want to do this just to make money. I got other prospects in life. I'm done. And that's cool, too. But, like, it took them a little while in Miami Vice to make it seem like Crocker and Tubbs loved their city. So I love the episode where they did. Miami Vice even had Wesley Snipes, Bob Seger singing Miami. By the way, Phil Collins has an original Phil Collins song that's only in Miami Vice. It's in the episode Phil the Shill. It's called Rat Race, and it's played again in the credits. Like, life is a rat race. Life is a rat race. It's not so creative, but it was only written for the episode, and it's only in the episode. So if you want to see the one Phil Collins song that got away, it's Rat Race in the episode Phil the Shill. And also you see Phil Collins film from the top down, showing that his hair plugs are indeed one disposable razor across. So yeah, we had a lot of great co-stars, and every one of them had co-stars. One of them had had Charles Dutton. Another one was directed by Paul Michael Glazer. That was the same one, by the way. The one that takes place in New York was great. It was like Miami's starting to have a say in things, but New York runs Miami. But Miami comes to New York to say stop messing with Miami, and New York smacks Miami down. But Miami's still a force, you know what I mean? They're getting stronger, and like, we got our eyes on New York, and I guess they probably played that out later. They go and they trace down the guy, like they go all the way up the distribution chain of cocaine. It's the most realistic thing about it. And then tough guy in the pale pink pants and the white linen biker jacket, Crockett, chain smoking, drunken, tough guy Crockett, whose girlfriends include a drug mule and three drug transporters and one outright bag of drug swallowing drug mule. I hope that there will be boobs for vengeance. There are. So these guys, these hard-nosed streetwise cops, they have absolutely no worldliness about them whatsoever. They date the dumbest women. In Little Miss Dangerous, streetwise Tubbs, who's smarter than Crockett because he used to be NYPD, he turns around and gives a former hooker the keys to one of their safe houses. God knows what she's going to do there, who she'll bring there, or if she overdoses and drops dead there. You know what I'm saying? God only knows. And they're doing this. It's just like, what are you doing with my, it's like, what kind of cop are you? So exactly. That's how I felt watching it, Mr. House Party 6. It's like, baby, just one more, baby, just one more. Like, I can't wait forever. Just one more. Like, I mean, yeah, what would Jan Hammer do? The theme song and the opening sequence were 90 seconds long.
Yeah, that's iconic. That opening. If you play that, anybody who was born around our time, Teague, they know that
Knows
show
the song.
immediately. All you got to hear is the music. You
Well, here's the thing. It's 3 times longer than a theme song.
Yeah.
Star Trek is 1 minute, but that has space. You know what I mean? This is like.
Well, when you get into 90 seconds, then
You know what I mean?
You're delving into anime opening song territory because they're always a minute.
Porno movie, movie territory, right? So the opening sequence is 10% of your is 5% of your whole show. It's 46 minutes long. It's actually longer. You know what I mean? It's like getting close to 8% of your total runtime is this opening scene, and we don't need to see flamingos walking around. We know it's in Florida, but like it needs that Miami Vice theme song, and
the speedboat for letting us know, it's decadent Miami here.
Yeah, and the thing is, Miami ain't Miami yet. When you see their skyline, it's not that impressive. You're in no way like, oh wow, these guys are a real city. I was there. Like, we're from this part of the city. We've been through it, right? We've heard the we've been to Miami in the 80s, both of us. I lived in Florida for a while, and like the Miami Vice theme song, it's kind of an MTV video, and it's MTV video worthy. But what did they do? Think about this one for a second. It's really the opening of Magnum PI, but with keyboards instead of like a guitar. And even Magnum PI is mostly keyboards. Like, look at this beginning. Look what we see. It's the beginning. It's the exact same visual as the beginning of Magnum PI, isn't it?
Yeah.
Helicopter's eye view of the water. And that's what this is. It's Magnum PI with but closer to home. You can tell right away that they chose to film it in Florida and not California, because as you know and I know, the grass in Florida looks different. Now, one thing I said was, this is notoriously one of the lowest paid police departments and sparsest and undermanned police departments on the East Coast, correct?
I'll take your
That's
word.
the perception.
I can't.
Certainly in the 80s, maybe not now, but definitely in the 80s. It's a small city. It's not a big city. By the way, this is my favorite part. This guy dunks his head to cool off. I thought that was so real. That's so real. They chose the right moment of that. So, they're playing their great keyboard-oriented theme song. It's an MTV video length. So it's as long as some songs. It's like 20 seconds shorter than a Ramones song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's got all this stuff going on. I mean, listen. And every single note of every single, this is every minute and every second of its time. Hey, Mr. Kata! Mr. Kata is Sean Carter on Steam too. Just so you know. But it's funny, sometimes I'll come turn on my computer, it's like Mr. Kata is playing like The Last of Us. I'm like, it's time to play Steam.
Yeah, I you know what? I've never seen them use highlights on a show. It's always baseball or football, maybe.
I got ahead of myself there. So here we go. We got the highlight, right? So we got to turn off the music because it's too much, right? So more like helicopter from the air. So it's like, it's still like, it's homing in on Magnum PI, right? I mean, this is dwelling in built off Magnum PI, especially the beginning, high impact. What's his name? Higgins had cars like this. We saw a car like this at the beginning of Magnum PI. It's probably the Pebble Beach car show, right? It would make
Could be.
sense.
I
It
mean,
could be any car show,
think
though.
it's
We
just-
don't get enough.
They're
We
trying
don't
to.
see
I think.
trees.
I think they're playing up. This is Miami is decadent back then, kind of like
But the thing is, Miami was only decadent because we had snowbirds from New York and Boston and Canada who brought their out-of-town money down here to spend up, have a good time, and the residents were getting by on like the service industry at this point. It's 40 years later, guys. Sorry, I don't mean to be sound provincial here. And a lot of people brought their New York money down there, and it was good for this place. And by the way, we're only now approaching a time where there's enough air conditioning developed well enough to work at an efficient enough rate to build these huge hotels to bring New Yorkers down there, correct? We've extended the tourist season 2 more months, one in either direction.
Yeah,
honestly.
New Yorkers aren't coming down to Florida if they can't have good AC.
I think Tommy Chong was in the season I watched. So was I didn't watch this episode, and so was Frank Zappa. Wasn't Sheena E on the show? Probably, because she is of that era. Probably also was the Miami Sound Machine lady. What's her name? Sheila Easton is the Sheila E. But who was the other one? With the Felix Papalardi's daughter is one of the purple you'd see, and the one from the Miami Sound Machine. What the fuck is her name? Gloria Estefan would have been on it too.
Yeah.
The people that Gloria Estefan would be a huge person to say would probably be on it because she's from the area. The South Dakota Bumpkin. I love the flamingos and all the stuff. I wouldn't know if I hadn't seen that. Okay, so it does have value. The thing is, it's 3 times longer than a regular opening, so this really setting the scene that it's Miami is really important, because then what we usually do is we go into a dark crime scene to open things up, or Crocker and Tubbs, and usually Crocker's being a fucking crybaby asshole. Crocker's a big time asshole. So that's Gina, I think, is Sandra Santiago. If I'm not incorrect.
Look at
Gina?
that. Look, you see those huge hotels in the
This
background.
is the same.
Beach completely empty.
This is the same shot of the water, if I'm not incorrect, too.
Oh yeah. They're just reusing it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. As we see the beach is empty. And by the way, there are 3 hotels between this hotel and that one by now.
Oh yeah.
There are 3 more hotels. So this is a very small town. Look at the buildings behind the main hotels. They're 2-story. They're 2-story residential.
Yep,
Still see
there's
them
nothing behind them. There's like
over and to the left of Sandra Santiago's name. You can see 2-story residentials.
Yep.
If those are hotels, they're very, very, very small motor in size. These are tremendous. Now, if Florida had gambling, you'd have a casino. We could see a beach that's very small. It's the same shot of the fucking water. By the way, that's as much of their city as they got. This is as much city as we have. Most of the time, we got to show water. There's so little city. This outside the city in Appalachia Swings, I think, is where the dog track is. But whatever. That's culture, betting on dogs.
Is that
I'm not saying, but that's just outside Miami is where you bet on dogs. But I mean, that's their culture. We go bet on dogs. Like we don't even have a horse race. I mean, we have a horse racing track. We couldn't show that, but we show them betting on dogs, right? So we're a little bit dumb. Pompano Beach is like there via OTB, but whatever. I guess it's supposed to be their courthouse. It's a hotel or something downtown. Look at that. This is their whole downtown.
Yeah, you got to show it from the vestibule of another building, so you don't get to see too much of it, so you don't see how sparse it is.
A building with columns to block the lack of other buildings in the place where the buildings are supposed to be. So we see a Greyhound. This is their idea of a thoroughbred. So yeah. So look at that. So we're showing a closed-in area, so it looks like there's buildings. We see a crane, so they're building stuff. But I keep saying the city's on the come; it's on its way. We see this. We see the sunlight, but we see a lot of space between buildings here, and then we cut away because there's nothing. Interesting building with a mundane building behind it.
Yep.
This is not so very impressive or so very important or so very great. All right, these women are more glamorous than they are sexy, but they're pretty good. I'll take it. It's the 80s. They got 80s hair. There's a lot of people who are more glamorous than they are sexy, especially Crockett and Tubbs' girlfriend. Like Crockett and Tubbs date a lot of different women, and some of them aren't pretty at all, but they're dressed like tramps. It's like that translates to beautiful in this weird show. You know what I mean? The meta of the show is so weird. Now, it's a dark show, and I enjoyed the stories, But it was like, so like, here we go. So this is much the city. We got to go street level now, right? These ladies are pretty, but we're going street level and we can't show much. So how little did we show? There's a city. It exists. Here we go. We're back at the water now. We can fill the water with rich people quick. Look, here comes the city into view. There's a cruise ship in the harbor. So the industry there is leaving town.
Yeah.
That's their city. That's their city, bro. It's a fucking really underpopulated fucking disaster. It's not much. So when the episode came where they had... Now, first of all, they're not the cops of all of Miami. They're the cops of Miami-Dade, and South Beach has its own police department. It says it in the show, right? Even if that's not true in the real life, that's true in the show. So the Miami Police Department is the only part of Miami. So we're talking like 1,100 cops, tops, like 600 cops. And we're talking, we know this, and it's almost definitely true. It's true of Orlando. 500 cops in March. I'm sorry, 500 cops in July and August. 1,700 cops in January and February and the holidays, right? Because that's in season. They have an expanding police force of part-time cops who are incentivized to arrest people, right? The saying is, come on vacation, leave on probation. So that there's their city. It's a joke. Here's their city at night. It's a joke compared to what it is now. It's really, really underpopulated. They're only cops of half of this city. They're only cops of half this city. So the idea that one guy served on the force for 10 years, made it to detective, and was the top known detective, and Lieutenant Castillo didn't know him, it's bullshit. He should know him. That he knows every criminal in town, but not the number one detective from his very small, half of a small city police force, not believable. So that was one thing I had a problem with. Other people said it was better. Yeah, we got it. Thank you. Two things, 80s had helicopters and saxophones. Ooh, right. Yeah. Don't worry, we got it. It's, you know what? We're not here to have a spelling bee. Remember that guy who...
Oh, we lost you. Did you mute accidentally? We seem to be having trouble with our subspace communications with Teag. He had to drop out here. Don't worry, he'll be back. I have faith of the heart that the Admiral will return. But no. Let me see here. Crockett had a pet. See, I grew up in the 80s. I was a teen in the 80s. I did not watch this show, so I did not know this. Crockett had a pet gator, huh? Interesting. Jason Love. I learned something new every day. I did not know this. And yeah, the similarities between the two openings. Yes. Now once you see something, you can never unsee it. You're welcome. We had to see it. You had to see it. Oh no, you said, Jason, you said that Crockett had a pet gator. Maybe you were just joking. I thought maybe that was true. I don't know. I've never watched the show, so I've only seen clips, even despite growing up as a teenager in the 80s. But Love Boat meets Das Boat. Nah, good Lord. Yes, welcome to the bring the block. Well, it's sitting right here. It's not got a lot left after the game night, Tony. But I went too heavy last night, too fast. Started having issues trying to chime in earlier than normal. So, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It was a good time last night. It was a heck of a blast. It was a close tight game down the end there. Again, DBK, he just pulled it out at the end there. Oh, Jason, you were just joking. Okay, I thought maybe you had a pet gator. I had no idea. Again, I don't know, but that's funny. That's funny. If you did, I mean, well, there's plenty of them all around. But he is absolutely right. As for someone who's grows up just outside of New York City, you look even in the 70s, you look at that in the 60s, even you look at that skyline. That is an impressive skyline. So even all the other cities all around are just I look at some of the other cities, especially when you see when they do the blimp shot at football games, the stadium. You see the skyline. It's not very impressive, compared to the New York City skyline. And Miami's no different. But they all can't be the Big Apple. They all can't be the Big Apple. Say what you want to say. It's an impressive skyline. It's the whole reason why you can tell the tourists as they walk around the city, because they're just all looking up as they walk down the Canyon of Heroes, because it is impressive. It is definitely impressive when you go down there. And if you go up to the tops of some of those buildings, I had a chance, because like I said, I lived in the vicinity, and I've been into New York City many times. I got to go to the observation deck of the World Trade Center, and you look out there. It is impressive. It's impressive to be there, and it's windy, and it is windy up there. It's one of the only ones I've not been to the top of the Empire State Building or the Chrysler Building, but the Twin Towers I did. I must have been in God. I think the last time I was there, it might have been 78, and when I was up at the top of that thing. Impressive sights. But well, maybe Teag really got the duck really got him here. He's usually back in here by now. Maybe I'll check over on the twit and see if he shot me a message. Let me know that things did not go well. No,
I'm back.
Oh, there you are. All righty. Yep, I was just.
I got knocked all the way the fuck out. That was crazy. I was signed out. I had to re-sign into everything. So it's like I looked and I noticed my bubble was completely frozen, and I'm like, oh, I can't get back. So then I was just like, all right, what do I do now? And after a couple of minutes, I did get it figured out. Although what sucks is now my goddamn Chrome has gone all the way back to light settings, and I have to set it to goddamn dark. I can't live. I can't live with fucking light setting.
Exactly.
I hate it.
Yep, I have mine on dark.
I
wish there was a dark setting for the background for StreamYards. It's I go from my. Is there?
Yeah, but it's only for paid StreamYards.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And if you come into my StreamYards environment, you can't use it.
Okay.
That's one of their problems.
Yeah, see, I go back and forth between the windows that actually has the channel, the stream up, so that I can interact and I can see in real time what's going on. And I go back to StreamYards and I'm like, ooh, especially if it's at night in the dark room.
I'm looking for is it under system? Come on, where is dark mode, motherfucker? I am not turning on the dark mode extension. That just gets the thing so confused that it's always ass backwards. Oh well.
Yeah.
I've got dark StreamYards.
Don't you got to go to display? Or you got to go to Chrome itself?
It's inside of Chrome. It sucks. It's like Chrome settings, just like the most annoying thing. And it's so easy to turn on one problem after another or accidentally sign yourself out. So you know what, guys? It's been for real. Let's take a look at some of these comments and catch up. Crockett's pet gator. Oh my God. You know what? It's so fake. His gator is so fake. It can breathe and that's it. When it moves, it is the fakest, most plastic of gators you've ever seen. There's one time when it comes lunging out of the hold of the ship at the lawyer trying to serve him papers to get his car from him. And then he has a shit fit throughout the whole episode about how he needs his Maserati as part of his cover, and he has a big crybaby about it. Miami Vice and Magnum PI, maybe they use the same or many of the same shots for both. Now I can't unsee it. I don't know if it's the same shots. It's that Miami Vice is recycling its own shot of the ocean, and Magnum PI and Miami Vice have the exact same kind of opening. helicopter's eye view of a radical ride through these crazy islands that are exotic. Cue the Love Boat theme, and they get on a Princess cruise ship. You know what? You can play any music to that. My friend did an instrumental guitar song, and he was like talking about how great it was and how happy he was with it. And I was like, you know what? Like, check this out. And I changed it.
So you have it to show? You're gonna
I did it. I turned on dark mode. Thank God.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna play my friend's song, but because he put it on YouTube. But it was just like a wailing metal guitar solo of the same type, and I'm like, check this out. I can improve your song. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, I put it on the boombox through Bluetooth. But then I turned on the computer and cast it to the TV and played the Magnum PI beginning. I was like, check it out. And I started both at the same time. And we proved that no matter where you started the song, it worked to the Magnum. Some imageries just work no matter what the music, as long as the music's the right tempo. The Love Boat meets Das Boot. That would be hilarious. I'd watch that. Welcome to the Wes Cagle Show. Bring on the vodka. Yeah, what can I tell you? I got Das Booted. What can you do? It sucks. And Jedi Master 2022, hello! I said hello already, but Jason Love's like, sorry, Wes Cagle. I did want to say it was just part of a bust of illegal zoo, or the gator swallowed some cocaine. Still, it's only friendly to Crockett, eventually Tubbs. Yeah, Crockett should have, like, here's the thing. Lieutenant Castillo is an inconsistent character unless there's something fucking magic about Crockett and Tubbs that I missed in season 1. Maybe I missed this, but Captain Castillo. Now, there's 4 other detectives working there. Gina, Trudy, Sweetek, and Flynn, right?
Okay.
The 2 guys and the 2 women, right? So, and Sweetek is the big guy who likes Elvis, and the other guy is the guy with the beard and the kind of long straight hair, played by John Deal, right? So, they're like kind of, is his name Biggs? But they're like, they work with them, and Captain Castillo is like, he's this no nonsense. Lieutenant Castillo is this no nonsense freaking police officer, and he's like, I want you to work the double graveyard shift based on how insubordinate you were, and your docked day's pay. So you're working 2 days for no overtime and 1 day's pay, and then you got to come back. So it's like you're working 3 days straight. You know what I mean? It's like, when are you supposed to sleep? And it's just like he does that to those guys. Then Crockett and Tubbs come in dressed like freaking in pink clothes and like looking like Duran Duran. He's like, you guys have some leads for me. It's like Crockett just killed 4 people. There's no remark on it. Crockett and Tubbs were just in a gunfight where each of them killed 2 to 4 people. They don't remark on it.
Well, they're badasses. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
If a cop if 2 cops get in a shootout and kill,
there's 5 days of paperwork. So yeah,
and 5 days of CNN.
Yeah.
Think about day 3. Think about if we put that show in real life, and this was the 80s. There was a CNN. Put this in real life, guys. Episode starts. We get the opening gunfight where a bunch of people are killed. Then we move on, and the next thing we get is Crocker and Tubbs, like, have to deal with the fact that they've killed a few people. The press are all over them. They continue their investigation. Another shootout starts. Like, in the real world, it's like, it happened again. Mad Dog cops, Crockett and Tubbs, have killed a total of 16 people in just 2 days in Miami. Why won't Lieutenant Castillo pull these dangerous Mad Dog vigilantes off the street? And then you hear like gunfire in the background. It's like, we're getting reports that Crocker and Tubbs are in another gunfight. That's how bad it is. There's no massacre control. They have a little bit of an understanding of how cops think and act towards each other. The Duck of Death got me exactly. Yes, Duck Guy says. And hail everybody, and I thank you for keeping West company while I was thrown out there. Yeah, Admiral Teag, have we avenged ourselves? Yeah, we will avenge ourselves. Have no worry, and we don't have to do anything. A good gator. The gator is so fake. When you watch it, the gator is completely fake. So over 31 likes. We did it. We got there. I had to get off my own show to get that 30th like. It was when I left the show. People were like, thank God, they can get behind the show now. You got it, Admiral Teag. Also, sometimes the LT would go all samurai or ninja and just wasn't LT ex-force. Yeah, he was like ex-Vietnam CIA. And like whenever there was something going on, like in the supernatural part of the show, there was some voodoo and some ninja shit going on. Like he'd be all into it, like quietly contemplating Santeria. And then it'd be like, in the episode, the Santeria would turn out to be real, and Crockett and Tubbs would be there, and like something voodoo would happen, and Crockett would just look at Tubbs, and Tubbs would look at Crockett, and Tubbs would be like, huh? And Crockett would be like, see? Voodoo. Yeah. And I was trying to imagine him on fucking the stand. You know, it's like, and that's when the Santeria took over. What? Say that again, officer, for the jury. That's when the Santeria took over, and the talisman appeared inside of the bad guy's chest, and he dropped dead. I want you to look at the jury and repeat what you just said. You didn't shoot and kill this man. No, I didn't. This Santeria talisman appeared inside of their body and killed them. And that's how we stopped the drug dealers in South Beach. Get out of here. So they would have every single cop in that department knew each other. They only are cops for half that small city. And my dad wanted to beat up Crockett and Tubbs because, quote, what's with El DeBarge and Simon LeBon? It was Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto was a lot more fun. You got to take care of it yourself. But guys, we got to our like number. That means that y'all have done something that you've done a man's job, sir. You've earned Sydney Sweeney. Oh, look at this job. That is, can I just say that is one Silicon Valley I would love to visit. All right. I think we should keep going.
Doesn't anyone see that this is wrong?
But we should just keep going.
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
Right? I should just keep going, right? Because
I can.
all right, you know what? We got. All right, I'm sorry, General Sir. All right, well, that's it for me. You guys get Sydney Sweeney. Do me a favor. First, we get the story of how Star Wars and Star Trek will never be the same from George Lucas. But before we go, I do want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, everybody who watched the show today, everyone who took our poll, which I guess oh my gosh, Wes Cagle. I almost didn't close the poll, Wes Cagle.
Oh, wow. I
almost failed to close the poll, Wes Cagle. What kind of man would I be? 18 votes.
Yeah.
Which movie with Batman is worse? 18 votes. Survey says Batman and Robin, 44%. It's the number one vote getter. BVS, very close second at 33%. And I think if we would have waited longer and pushed a little harder, we could have made this for the winner because it is worse. Batman and Robin exists in a slapstick world of Batman, whereas BVS is supposed to be serious. And he cuts a truck in half with 50 caliber machine gun rounds, West. At least the Batman and Robin isn't trying to kill the whole time. I don't know. Call me crazy. I don't know. I love all of you for making this show so successful. Justice League, 6%. Last final vote getter because it's got the least amount of Batman, I guess. And The Batman, making a decent showing. It sucks, by the way, with 17%. I think The Batman sucks. How about you, S. Gagel?
Yeah. Well, there's not
just
a good
one
one
on that Penguin
list,
show.
Yeah, there's not
that
a good
Penguin
one.
show is going to get him another movie. All right, 3, 2, 1. Pause for the buffering. Wes Cagle, you always pause for the buffering. All right. Oh, you know what? We got our poll. The winner is Batman and Robin. Number 2 is BVS. It didn't do very badly at all. It is that bad. It deserves everything it got. It is terrible. We are streaming for vengeance, Wes Cagle.
Yes, sir.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yes,
Feels
sir.
good. Streaming for vengeance. It's always fun. So before we go, I do want to thank everybody who's been here today and stopped by the chat. And also, this episode of Saving Star Trek is brought to you by Sydney Sweeney's Sweet Silicon Valley, the genius of Gene Roddenberry, the blundering of the people who make the Batman movies and TV shows, and Ruby Hoove, who gifted a membership. Miskatonic Madman with his generous super sticker. Thank you, my friend. Stark of Iron, a member of 16 months and a friend. RRTNZ with a wonderful $5 New Zealand super chat. Wes Cagle, who gave 1 membership to the channel. I thank you all. You guys all help underwrite this show, and you're all part of something bigger than just us, a fighting fleet that makes a difference. When our friends from New Trek come back and we have our little watch parties and reviews for Strange New Worlds, believe you me, my friend, Cosme account reported, stop sharing copyrighted material. Yeah, all right. 80s, who needs to reload and every or most car accidents explode? Oh my god, there was like a show car on top of a building where they shot up the building, and while the building's on fire, like the fake car on top of the building also exploded because it didn't fit with their logic to not have the car explode. That's how 80s Miami Vice was. It was fun. I liked watching it. Voodoo just worked. And you guys are really just the best chat and the best friends a guy could have. 2 downvotes. Thank you, Communist Belief Crowdsourcer. And we know it was a time travel douchebag. You guys coming through later. Give me some more likes to make up for these 2 that these scumbags put on here. Fuck you, Communist Belief Crowdsourcer. I'll be back at another time while you're on to do this again, and we'll see how long it takes for you to be able to hold on with the watch hours. You can scumbag people with a withering ray that fucks up their hours and engagement. You just change the rules. All right, so we'll come on when you're on. We'll see what happens to you if you want to go fucking with people. Or you'll publicly condemn it. When we said that people should stop attacking this show with bot storms and AI bot storms, one guy jumped out to say that it was okay and it was my fault and that people should do it. And that was the Communist Belief Crowdsourcer in his crowdsourced house, in his crowdsourced workshop. Yes, crowdsourced workshop with his crowdsourced fucking pen and ink, with his crowdsourced idea, next to his crowdsourced car, so that he could go to his job that he can't hold on to. The Communist Belief Crowdsourcer should shut the fuck up, and he should tweet out that it's wrong to attack my show, or it's you. You're primary antagonist as far as I'm concerned. You're responsible for this. I'm not a cop. I don't write any books about like how people can mess with someone with technology. I just know that you hate me. You never shut up about it. You're a piece of fucking shit, in my opinion. And fuck you. We'll see how long you can hold out with your watch hours. You want to come after mine? We'll show you. Hey, Gay Gamer. Hello to you, my friend. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you. You got here at the end, but you get to see Sydney Sweeney. You might, you know what? I'm sorry, Gay Gamer. I'll tell you what. I'll show you a couple of handsome guys first. Here we go.
Do you want the Star Wars trilogy and the mythology to go beyond your lifetime?
No. 3 will be the last film, and it'll be a 6-part series, and that'll be the end of it.
Incorrect. You're not mentoring someone to take over for you?
No, it's
Automatic defense procedures initiated.
There may be other venues for it, but not in the theatrical release.
Affirmative.
I don't want to have it just sort of turn into Star Trek. I don't want to have it just sort of turn into Star Trek.
And boy, what he wouldn't do to have it turn back into Star Trek today. I thank all of you, and anyone coming through later, leave me a comment. If you're here now, you can hit that refresh button and then leave me a comment. I need comments. I love comments. Thank you all. You rock, as they say. And here it is. You wanted it. You got it. Here she is, Sydney Sweeney. Bye, guys.